This is a special presentation from News Channel Nebraska.
And welcome to Omaha, Nebraska. Class A action, a top 5 clash for you tonight on News Channel Nebraska as number 3 Grand Island makes the trip to the Metro to take on number 4 Millard West. Thank you for joining us here for our pregame show and presented by Anderson Ford of Lincoln, Kia of Grand Island. See their huge selection of new and used cars and trucks in Grand Island, proudly serving the Tri-City areas and proud supporter of area athletes. Brandon Axamit and Andy Klassen with you tonight. Andy, you look at the football slate on Thursday and on Friday. You look at the classes. You looked at the ranked opponents. This is the marquee matchup. It's a little weird. It's on a Thursday, but we are not complaining for this matchup between the Islanders and the Wildcats.
No, all eyes are going to be on this game here. Thursday night game, top 5 matchup between two teams that are enjoying some winning streaks right now. Millard West with a 4-game winning streak. Grand Island, 6-game winning streak. We're in for a good one tonight. This has playoff implications right here tonight, Thursday night, mid-season.
The Islanders, one of 3 teams in Class A undefeated. You have Burke, you have Westside, then you have the Islanders currently sitting at number 3. Westside at number 4. Their only loss to number 1 Omaha Burke. And like you said, they have been on quite the run of games ever since. They have some common opponents on these two teams' schedule, the one being Kearney, a ranked opponent, and a team that Grand Island took care of in week 1. And as for Millard West, they're coming off a victory over Kearney as well.
Yeah, really been impressed. Everyone knows about their offense, their spread attack, rushing. They got all these rushers running for 1 million yards apiece, but their defense has only allowed 95 points yet this season. Haven't even gave up 100 points. They're at the mid-mark, and they played some quality opponents like you're talking about. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this defensive matchup against this high-flying Grand Island offense.
Grand Island coming off a 77-7 victory over Omaha Bryan. You talked about the defense only giving up 90-some odd points. Their offense has scored 320. They have just been on an unstoppable string of games right now where it really starts with that rushing game. They have a committee of running backs. There's about 7 of them who've rushed for over 100 yards. It's amazing, but when you have a lot of rushers, you have to credit the big boys up front for allowing that to happen.
Well, and that was the question mark going into this season. They had a lot of upperclassmen coming up to fill these roles, but they had very little playing experience, starting experience. Man, did they come in right from the get-go. That Kearney game, they took control of that game. This offensive line has been a pleasant surprise for Coach Jeff Tomlin of the Islanders.
Very excited that you're with us. Another little twist here. It's homecoming night for Millard West. We're going to be starting 10 minutes later than normal. Kickoff is set for 7:10. That is because the bus for the Islanders broke down on the way here. They had to order in a new bus, more or less. Andy, I think that's the proper terminology. A new bus came, picked up the Islanders, got them here. So after all of that drama, we are ready to go. We'll just be 10 minutes later than normal. But the weather, it's calm, it's cool, and the rain is seeming to hold off. So we're hoping for a very, very good football game tonight.
We really are. We already said it. Top 5 matchup. Grand Island's already had to deal with some issues as far as getting here. They're here now, and I've talked to the team and some of the coaches. They are jacked up, ready to rock and roll here tonight.
Don't go anywhere. We'll talk about some key players coming up, as well as we'll hear from head coach Jeff Tomlin for Grand Island. All coming up next on the pregame show on News Channel Nebraska. Welcome back here to Omaha, part of the Cornhusker Toyota Honda pregame show. Brandon Axamit, Andy Klassen, also Alex Shaloroff will be joining us on the sidelines throughout the day as well. Talking more about this contest upcoming for Grand Island, the number 3 team in Class A, Millard West, the number 4 team in Class A. You're talking about some key players, Andy, and when you talk about this Grand Island team, they love to run the ball. The committee of running backs is led by John Riley, over 500 yards. He's found the end zone 10 times. It's amazing how much he's ran for because, like we mentioned, there's several running backs that Coach Tomlin loves to get the ball, but he is the leader of this committee.
I always say it. He's the straw that stirs the drink, and that's exactly what Mr. Riley is. Already has over 500 yards rushing. You named it, 10 touchdowns. He's a scoring monster. He's only 5'7", but he's very shifty. He uses that to his running style, and let me tell you, he can get to top-end speed in a hurry. He runs off tackle. When he sees the crease, he plants the foot, and he can get north and south on you in a hurry. It's going to be paramount for Millard West. If they want to get out of here with the W, they got to stop Mr. Riley first and foremost.
Someone the Islanders are going to have to look on to stop is Dallas Beanham. He's the leading receiver for the Wildcats, over 400 yards. He can find the end zone as well. He's shifty, he's electric. But we do know that these Grand Island DBs, they're battle-tested, but this is going to be a tough test for him here tonight as well.
Well, I'm glad we're talking about Beanham, a receiver. We always want to talk about the running backs when we talk about Millard West. Well, what really brings balance to this offensive attack is Beanham. He's 5'11", tall kid. He can get down, go up and get it. What does he have? 6 touchdowns already, over 400 yards receiving, so that's just a great balance for this offensive attack. It's going to be a lot for the shorter, little bit shorter DBs for Grand Island to deal with here tonight.
We do talk about running backs. We're going to a little bit right now as well. Now, Jackson Wright, the leading running back for Millard West with over 500 yards, will not be playing tonight. So, again, we might even see a heavier dose of relying on Beanham and others of the supporting cast for this Millard West offense, with Wright not being in for this contest.
Well, and Beanham's, you're in good hands with Beanham. He's the hands man. He can go, like I said, he can high point the ball. They love to use him in a deep threat, but then also the play action is just brutal. When he's cutting across the field and it's coming off play action, he can bust that little 5-yard slant for a 70-yard touchdown. We've seen him do it.
Don't go anywhere here on the Cornhusker Toyota Honda pregame show. We're going to hear from head coach for Grand Island, Jeff Tomlin, and talk more football. We are nearly 10 minutes away from kickoff here in Omaha. And welcome back here to Millard South High School, getting ready for the matchup between Grand Island and Millard West. Joining me, head coach Tomlin for Grand Island. Coach, this is a game that a lot of people in the state are obviously talking about. You guys, one of 3 undefeated teams in Class A, number 3 in Class A, Millard West, number 4. How are you feeling, as this is a very big matchup, obviously, coming into this one tonight?
Looking forward to it. It's a great atmosphere against a great program, and it brings out the best. You know, a great test bring out the best in you, so we definitely want to become a better football team tonight.
And what have you seen on film this week looking at Millard West and the challenges they'll bring for you tonight?
Well, they're very balanced offensively and defensively. They have great special teams. They're just very well coached. Coach Peterson and his staff do a great job. And offensively, they're very good at running options of various types. They have 3 or 4 options that they run, but they also can spread it out and throw the ball or throw it from 2 tight end formations. So they're tough to defend. Defensively, they fly around. They're real physical, so we'll have our hands full.
And lastly, how do you feel about where the Islanders are at? Obviously, you've scored more than 300 points offensively, allowed less than 100. So in terms of on the stats on paper, you guys have been doing pretty well thus far through the season.
Well, I'm really happy with our kids. Their attitude and effort has been tremendous. I'm very proud of them. Wouldn't want to line it up out here with any other team. So, I think we're exactly where we want to be, and they've worked awful hard to get to this point.
Coach, thank you for the time. Good luck tonight.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Stay with us. More pregame coverage coming up next on News Channel Nebraska. I don't know. And welcome back here to Millard South High School. Getting ready to go. Brandon Axman, Andy Klassen with you. Top 5 matchup between number 3 Grand Island, number 4 Millard West. Andy, we've talked about it a lot, and we don't have to talk about it much more because we're about to see it out on the field. But you just analyze some of these scores. You look at the form that Grand Island's in. They have scored no less than 42 points in any of their games so far this season. Again, 320 points. They're the 2nd highest scoring offense in Class A, just 3 points behind Bellevue West, who's currently ranked at number 2. It's going to be interesting to see how they match up against Millard West, because some skeptics could argue, yeah, Kearney was a decent test. They're a little bit down. The hardest test so far for Grand Island has been Lincoln High, who is back up at number 5, but they've had some could say an easy 3-game run. North Platte, Lincoln North Star, and Omaha Bryan. There's just 2 wins between those 3 teams, but this certainly will be a test. If Grand Island gets a result against Millard West, people across the state, besides Grand Island, will believe this Islander team is for real.
Well, yeah, there has been a couple lesser opponents just put up 77 points on Bryan last week, this Islander offense did, but now they're facing a defense that has allowed only 95 points. Like we said earlier in the pregame, they've only allowed 95 points so far this year. So we know Millard West is stout on defense, and they're going to be keying on that rushing attack from the Islanders. How are the Islanders going to counter that here tonight?
As for Millard West, they opened up the season with a 35-0 victory over Millard North, then lost to Omaha Burke, a game that was 31-14. But when talking to Coach Peterson, he said that score is not reflective of what it should have been, and he said we should have gotten beaten by more. We didn't play well. Omaha Burke is as good as advertised. But he said ever since that game, they have bounced back with wins over Omaha North, a team that again is down a little bit, but is 28-14 over them. The marquee victory for Millard West is Millard South. They beat the Patriots 34-27, handing Millard South their only loss of the season And then most recently, Omaha, Bryan, and Kearney, 2 road games they got good results on as well.
Yeah, that's a pretty impressive win for me. Going on the road, knocking off the Kearney Bearcats 42-20. Pretty good night for the offense, and then once again, only allowing 20 points on defense to a pretty darn good offense. Kearney's starting to find their way, get into a groove. But Millard West, I just feel like there's question marks with them and Grand Island, and I feel like a lot of questions are going to be answered here tonight. It's kind of funny saying that. We're midway through the season. We got a top 5 matchup, and there's still a bunch of question marks out there. I think those questions are going to be answered here tonight on Millard Field.
And here come the Islanders down the pathway again, led by quarterback Cole Evans as well, the dual threat quarterback, a big part of this offense as a senior. And when you talk to Coach Tomlin, even in the preseason and in weeks 1 and week 2, he said just the sheer grasp of the offense that Evans has this year has really been the difference. You know, last year as a junior, you're swimming a little bit, but now you're a year into your starting, your second year under center now, and it just isn't a night and day difference in terms of what the offense can do.
Yeah, we're going to say Mr. Cole Evans' names a couple of times here tonight. Really was so impressed with that opening game at Kearney, the way he was able to just pick up where he left off. Had a lot of momentum at the end of the season last year, and it's really shown through this year. His decision making has been spot on in that zone reading. That's so pivotal. You got to know when to give it to the backs or when to pull it and when to run it yourself. And when they sprinkle in that triple option, when they give him the opportunity to pass the ball, he is completing passes like crazy this year.
And here come the Wildcats again, a perennial power. They last were in the state championship game in 2015 where they were runners-up. Last year, lost in the quarterfinals to Omaha Burke. But when you talk to Kurt Peterson, who's been with the program for 16 years as the head coach, he says, you know, we pretty much, if we make the semifinals, we call it a good year. Anything less than that, year in and year out, we're disappointed. And so this Millard West team, they're coming off that quarterfinal loss. They bring back a lot of players as well. They're always a team that's playing late into the football season. And it's no different here this season, sitting at 5-1 and number 4 in Class A.
You can really say they're another one of these Omaha metro area teams that have really grown into what you would call the standard. I always think of Omaha North, Omaha Central, Millard West. They're always in the mix. Millard West has consistently been putting together top 5 finishes. Like you said, back in 2015, actually pulled off, got the state title. They're always in the mix, and you can really credit the coaching staff and the continuity that they bring to the table.
Millard West state champs in 2001 and 2008, runners-up in 96, 99, 2009, and 2015. We're under 2 minutes to go here in Omaha. Glad that you are with us for the Cornhusker Toyota Honda pregame show. Again, this contest presented by Anderson Ford. We'll take one quick break, and we'll be ready for kickoff here in Omaha on News Channel Nebraska. Welcome back, getting ready to go. Millard West kicking off. Islanders will be receiving here. Again, 10-minute delay for kickoff because the Islanders bus had troubles getting here. Glad that everyone made it here safely, and glad that you're with us here on News Channel Nebraska for what we expect to be a great game.
It really will. We have two powerhouse offenses facing off a couple really good defenses. A lot of times that gets lost in the shuffle because you want to talk about all the points being scored, but both of these squads have really tightened the clamps on defense this year.
And here we go. Kickoff fielded by Douglas at the 5. He is a dynamic player for the Islanders, and he gets across the 30.
Nice return there for Douglas, not wasting any motion, just taking what he can get, getting north and south.
So it's time to take a look at our 5 points of impact, brought to you by 5 Points Bank. Proud to support area coaches and athletes. 5 Points Bank. Point number 1 for the Islanders. We take a look at our 5 points of impact here. Gish, they need to run the ball and they need to stop the ball. Talking to Coach Tomlin, he said we not only need to do what we do well, we need to stop what Millard West does well. Point number 2 on your 5 points of impact. Handle the environment. This, of course, big stadium, a lot of fanfare. It's homecoming. You're on the road against a very challenging opponent. This is the toughest game of the year for the Islanders up to this point. Point number 3, for Millard South, or Millard West rather. They want to run the ball as well. It's going to be tougher without Jackson Wright, their leading rusher. They're going to have to find ways to do it. Point number 4 as we have our first snap, and it's going to be a keeper for Cole Evans, who picks up 13 yards for the Islanders. Be sound defensively. The Wildcats are going to want to shore things up after one play and a first down for the Islanders. And last but not least, this applies to both teams. Point number 5, talking to both coaches, they said always important to win the turnover battle, even more so when you're playing a tough opponent. Those are your 5 points of impact, brought to you by 5 Points Bank. So we had a first down, but looks like this one may be coming back, Andy.
Yeah, and we've already had a couple flags here for tonight's officiating crew. Head referee Mike Godsill, umpire Zach Griffin, head lineman Josh McNeil, Braxton Arndt is your line judge, and the back judge, Deval Kanava. And they're going to get GI for the hold. Now, the play beforehand, you had Millard West with an offsides, that attacking style defense getting a little too aggressive early here, got in the neutral zone, and they got caught.
2 plays, 2 penalties, sir. First and 10 now from the 32 for Grand Island. Riley motions, and it's a handoff right up the middle. There's a pickup of at least 5 by Timo Sykes for the Islanders.
5'10" senior, one of the running backs that's going to get a lot of plays here tonight. They love to rotate in multiple backs and give the defense multiple looks.
Another quick snap. Evans on the keeper, trying to get around the edge, breaks a tackle, lowers his shoulder, and that'll be close to a first down.
That's something that we don't talk about Cole Evans enough, and that is his ability to elude tackles. You know, I talked about his passing ability, talked about how he makes good decisions, but he also has some pretty good wheels, and he's got some moves too.
And they actually give Evans the first down, pickup of 5.
Yeah, you saw it on the 13-yard gain there during the 5 points rundown, how Cole pulled the ball and kept it and picked up the gain of 13.
And there is Riley's first carry, and you see why he's the leading rusher. He gets 11. There is a flag on the field. Let's take a look at our Grand Island starters. This one looks... And there's a look, Cole Evans, we talked about him. You have Sykes and Riley, the running back tandem. Several more will be rotated in as well. Brock Douglas, leading receiver alongside Cahoy and Ben Riley. Penalty actually against Millard West, so Grand Island will get more points here. And then we talked about the big boys in the pregame. Alan Martinez, Bielby, Krolikowski, and Cruz paving the way. For Millard West, you have the 4-man front of Cundiff, Anilo, Huber, and Christensen. Linebacking core of Harmdierks, Tay, and Poulter. And then you have your DBs as well. As we have a run around the edge by Riley, nothing doing, and another flag comes in the defensive backfield.
We'll wait and see what the flag is, but Millard West did the perfect job of stringing that play out. You had your linebackers roll down and make the tackle, and your defensive end stayed wide, kept contained.
And it's holding against GI, so you've had more plays with penalties than not here early on.
And that might be a little bit of the early game jitters for both squads. Both teams know what's on the line here. Top 5 matchup. You can say how it's just another game. Well, it's not. The atmosphere isn't that way. Everyone's watching tonight, Thursday night game.
Play action and heat right up the middle. Evans gets the pass off and completes it. He took a shot, but Brock Douglas hauled it in for a pickup of 15. And he is slow to get up.
I believe that was Jacob Harmdykes getting up the middle there on the blitz. And how about Evans staying in there, staying in the pocket and delivering a strike to get those 10 yards back.
He came in like a heat-seeking missile. Pickup of 12 officially makes it 2nd and 9. Sykes motioning to the backfield. Back to Riley, right up the middle. Pickup of about 3 more.
You really got to appreciate the running style of Riley, how he made that little jump cut to the top of your screen, picked up an additional 3 or 4 yards because nothing was there initially. He just made that slight move to the right, got upfield, got him into a 3rd and manageable after the holding penalty.
Instant replay brought to you by Great Western Banks in Grand Island, Kearney, Hastings, Holdridge, and Broken Bow as Evans tries to throw it across the middle on 3rd and 7. And the ball was batted down.
And there you're seeing that defensive front four for Millard West doing work early. If you can't get to the quarterback, you get your arms up. Let's see who knocked that down.
That was big Matt Huser, 6'3", 235 pounds, as this one is punted away and downed inside the 20 at the 16. So the Islanders forced to punt. And we'll see what this Millard West offense has.
Huser, the big defensive lineman at 6'3", 235.
Now here are your starters for Millard West offense, Grand Island defense. Tristan Gomes, the quarterback. Now, talking to Coach Peterson, they can work in a second quarterback as well. Gomes is the main guy. He's not going to break away with any running speed, but they also can bring in Nate Clance, who is more of that running QB. You have Sullivan, the running back, Valencia running backs, Oderman and Beanham. We highlighted him, the leading receiver for Millard West with 400 yards. So here we go, Gomez with the quick pass, and we have yet another flag as Beanham, right on cue, makes the catch. We'll see if this play stands.
Yeah, right out of the gate, they look up Beanham, and you thought that might be the case here tonight with a couple of running backs out for Millard West. And it's going to be a hold on Millard West. Back them up 10. Oh, my bad, Brandon. Illegal man downfield. That's one of those things that you kind of see commonly with this style of offense. Those big guys are used to run blocking, and a lot of those pass plays are basically extended handoffs, if you will. So you're going to see some of those linemen get a little too far downfield on occasion.
1st and 15. Gomez on the quarterback keeper. He cuts it inside, and he gets tackled across the 25. We have another flag, Andy. Don't want to speculate, but this might be the hold you were talking about.
Might be, and that's going to negate a really nice run from Gomez. Made a couple really good cuts there. And he worked back into the teeth of that defense fearlessly, picking up some big yards, all for naught.
So 2 consecutive penalties to start this drive for Millard West, but you see the nice cut there by Gomes.
And now you're going to see Grand Island, they're probably going to switch up their defense a little bit. They're just going to go with the true 3 or 4-man rush. They're not going to bring the pressure they usually do. But when you're giving up this type of yardage, you can play it safe and have your free safety stay over the top.
So now 1st and 21. 4 wide set for the Wildcats. Long out route, it's hauled in, and the ball popped out. Recovered, that was Gomez to Beanham.
I've already looked up Beanham twice here tonight. Quick throw for a nice gain of 9 yards, getting some of that penalty yardage back. And that's exactly what GI did, though. They kept a free safety back, and they rolled up to the play. They kept everything in front of them.
Second and 12. Ball popped out again. That was Valencia on the carry.
That was point number 5 in the pregame. There might have been point number 1. Millard West putting the ball on the turf a couple of times already. Fortunate bounces here for Millard West.
So 3rd and 13.
Now this is your prototypical time where Coach Tomlin of the Islanders loves to send an extra guy. He loves to bring the pressure.
No back set for Gomes. Fakes the shovel pass. Actually, no, gives them on the shovel pass, and there's the speed. Oh, and that's going to be a penalty on Sam Sims, and that's tough. That was Garrett Kennedy on the end around, but you could see Sims pulling up, but he kind of ran into him, and he was out of bounds, and the flag was thrown.
Yeah, with player safety kind of at a pinnacle right now, you just got to get away from the play, especially when he's out of bounds. I thought Sims backed away, but that was enough. He put his head down, extended his arms a little bit. That's going to get the call every single time.
So that is a huge play. Negatively for the Islanders, positively, of course, for Millard West. On 3rd and long, you get the personal foul and an automatic first down.
Yeah, really a gift to this Millard West offense after those 2 devastating penalties to start your drive, and they still get a first down out of the deal.
Ball now on the 33. There's that option handoff right up the middle for Valencia. Not much there, gain of 2.
There's not much there, but that is a handoff you have to make periodically if you're going to run this style offense. You've got to keep the linebacking core honest from the defense you're playing against. You can't allow them to lose sight of that fullback or the up back.
Second and 7. Another keeper for Gomes. Nowhere to go. Stuffed up the middle. And was that Jordan Hofelt? For a second I thought Ace McInnes up the middle. Hofelt, though, making the big play.
That was a big linebacker. Hofelt filling the gap and filling it in a hurry. Some authority right here.
Pickup of 1, a 3rd and 6 here for the Wildcats.
That was a design run for Gomes. He just had to put the ball. Credit GI for beating him to the spot.
Empty back set again. Pressure coming up the middle. Gomes has time, lets it fly. And a great recovery by McInnes. Beanham had him beat. And the junior quarterback makes a great play. Andy, I know you can appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, he never turned his head around. He watched the eyes of the receiver. It looked like Beanham high-pointed it perfectly, went up, got his paws on it, and credit the DB for Grand Island for getting mixed up, not giving up on the play, recovering, and knocking the ball free.
It's a low punt. Fielded by Douglas. He muffs it and then falls on it at the 35.
Another heads-up play for Douglas there. I know the return man, number 1 for Grand Island, bobbled it a little bit, but he had the presence of mind to just go ahead and jump on the ball. I like how he came up and tried to receive it rather than letting it bounce and lose all that yardage.
On that first drive, had difficulty moving in the pocket towards the end of the drive, was having his right ankle worked over on the sideline. He was visibly frustrated, visibly grimacing in pain. You see, still having problems moving in the pocket. He's trying to stay loose, trying to plant that right foot on the sideline. We'll see how Cole Evans performs the rest of this quarter, still limping, as you can see here on the field.
Thank you, Alex. That was the 3rd member of our broadcast crew giving us that report on Cole Evans, as there was a 7-yard pickup on the swing pass to Riley. Now Sykes bouncing to the outside. He's across midfield. Pickup of 9 and an Islander first down.
Now this is where GI likes to play with this style, this pace of play. They really like to up the tempo. They don't want that defense to get set. They want to keep them on their heels. Look at that, already set.
Evans with time in the pocket, lets it fly, and he looks like he just lost the handle on that one.
Oh man, he had his man downfield, but that's, it's easier said than done because you had the top side of your screen. The defensive end there for Millard West came free, and he was really barreling down on the Grand Island quarterback.
That was Carson Cahoy, the backup quarterback that's been converted to a starting receiver this year for the Islanders. Fake handoff, and another incomplete pass, this time to Sykes.
Now you're seeing the Wildcat defense here from Millard West kind of take hold. When they have time to get their play in and they can bring their pressure, really expedites what the decision making for Cole Evans.
3rd and 10. And nearly picked off. Nice play. That was Zach Merkley, the senior linebacker, flying in to knock that one away, and the Islanders will be forced to punt here.
Fortunate Merkley didn't pick that off. If you're a Grand Island fan, did an excellent job of reading the quarterback, then he broke on that ball perfectly.
Booming punt this time takes an Islander bounce. And that is how you draw it up in the pros. Down inside the 2-yard line.
And we've seen him do that before, the punter for Grand Island. Special teams are going to play out to be a big part of this game. I guarantee you that. Right now, the advantage goes to the Islanders. Pinning it within the 1-yard line.
So the defense for Millard West has shown up. Forced Grand Island to punt it twice on 2 possessions. We'll see what the Wildcats bring here. They have 99 yards to go.
Well, they had some success putting the ball in the air. You kind of expect them to just run it right here and give them some breathing room. Then maybe on 2nd and 3rd down, air it out a little bit.
And they do just that. Gomes. A nice pickup to Beanham once again. That'll be a gain of 6.
And who else? Beanham, once again, number 24, getting to his spot, snapping his head around. I really like how he uses his hands. He gets his hands out in front of him. He doesn't allow the ball to get into his pads. That's where you see a lot of drops come from. Beanham, good work with his hands.
So now you have Nate Glantz, that second quarterback we talked about that Coach Peterson likes to rotate in under center. And you see, went straight to the run, but he didn't have much luck on that time. Pickup of 1.
I still like the play call. You had some success on 1st down passing the ball. You go 3 wide to the top of your screen there. Everybody's thinking pass. That's why that quarterback's in there, and he runs off tackle to the opposite side. So that brings up a 3rd and short, and Gomes has checked back into the game. Everything's on the table right now for the Wildcat offensive playbook.
3rd and 1. And nothing doing on the handoff. The big front line for the Islanders. Stuff Gomez.
Gomez did a good job just holding on to that ball. It was kind of a low snap outside a little bit. You'll see it on the replay right here. And just that little fraction of a second, that hiccup in the flow of the play allowed GI to get there and shut it down.
So a chance for a very good field position for the Islanders. Douglas is back on the 39. Low punt, he'll have a chance to return this one. And Millard West, they'll take that. They down it near midfield.
Well, I credited Brock Douglas for going up and making a play on the ball, even though he muffed it the last time. This time he elects to let it bounce, and there you go. He lost about 11 yards there when he could have just ran up, and even if he would just to fair catch it.
So 4 punts, 2 by each team here in the first quarter. 2 minutes, 11 seconds left.
Well, that's what I wanted to see, Brandon. I was talking about the defense in the pregame. The defense for both squads have come out to play here tonight.
Islanders starting on the Millard West 47. Riley right up the middle. 5-yard pickup.
Yeah, you just really got to appreciate the way John Riley runs the ball there. It was a high snap. He just had that half hesitation, got the ball from his quarterback and got right upfield, picked up a nice 5 yards there, 4 yards on 1st down. Just keeps him right on schedule.
And the ball's dropped. There's a problem with the exchange. And the Wildcats have it, but no signal yet given by the officials.
Well, if there's no whistle, the young man might as well take it to the end zone.
Here's another look at it. Problem on the exchange. That's right. Did they blow it dead? I think the referees say the play was blown dead.
Oh.
Islanders keep possession here.
So they're saying Grand Island initially recovered that fumble, and once they
They're
saw
on the
the
ground.
running back grab the ball, play was dead. That's when you saw a lot of Millard West guys jump in there and knock it loose.
Well, 3rd and 10 here, and there's a pickup from Evans to Douglas. That's enough to move the Sticks, a 12-yard gain.
That's a huge momentum shift in this game right here. Millard West thought that they created a turnover. That's not how it went down. 3rd and long, Cole Evans delivers a strike to his steady receiver, Brock Douglas.
Riley again up the middle. He's met by a wall of Wildcats.
Yeah, I've really been impressed with the front four here for Millard West. They've been doing a really good job containing this rushing attack from GI and then also applying pressure when they do go to the passing game.
Evans with all the time in the world. Lets it fly, it's picked off. INT and who else but the leading receiver, Beenum. And we have a late flag coming in as well.
Dallas Beeman did such a great job here sticking with his receiver. Like you said, Evans had all day back in the pocket. Dallas never lost sight of his guy. Beenum did a great job of trailing the play, then breaking on the ball late, and then, like I was talking about his hands, went up and caught the ball at the highest point with his hands and came down with it, securing the interception for the Wildcats.
And personal foul, blow to the head. Or helmet to helmet rather, against the Islanders. That's 15 more yards.
Well, and you heard the popping of the pads. That's what it was the helmet collision there on the tackle.
While they march it off, we'd like to remind you that this first quarter help made possible by Central Nebraska Orthopedics. From advanced surgical techniques to sports medicine expertise, Central Nebraska Orthopedics is dedicated to the motion of life. Under a minute to play here in the first, 0-0. And there's a pickup on the quarterback keeper. Gomez tackled at the 45, pickup of 7.
Really like how this offensive coaching staff for Millard West mixes up the play calling with that direct quarterback run. The defense isn't always looking for that. They're looking for him to either air it out when it's 0 backs, or they're looking for him to hand it off when there is an offset back. When you use the direct snap to the quarterback and the run, it keeps everybody in check.
Trips to the near side. Gomez with time. Lets it fly, and he connects with Taft. And that's enough for a first down. A pickup of 8. That'll do it for the first quarter. 0-0 ball game here between the Islanders and Wildcats. We'll be back. Quite the atmosphere here at Millard South High School. Again, Millard West, the number 4 team taking on Grand Island, the number 3 team in Class A. Brandon Axemit, Andy Klassen, Alex Loroff with you on the sidelines as well. Defensive battle, Andy, for all the talk we did about the offenses. It's been a stout game so far through that first quarter.
Really has been. You got to credit the coaching staffs for doing an excellent job with the film study, scouting both teams. But you knew what both teams wanted to do as far as their zone read style of offense. And you're also seeing that style of offense in practice every day. Not surprising that these two great defensive units have pitched a shutout thus far.
That was Glantz on the carry. He picked up 3.
And you saw a lot of the Millard West student section there in pink, breast cancer awareness, and it's homecoming. How many homecoming games are we going to do here?
Little dump pass, some trickery to the tight end. There's a big time pickup for Harmdierks.
That was a big time play call too. Things happen really fast around the line in a scrimmage. The tight end was able to just kind of slip free there. You got to credit Gomes for making a nice little touch pass over the defense, picking up the first down.
So Harmdierks, pickup of 10.
That's not easy to do if you're a tight end. Harmdierks did a good job of initially making the block, then slipping free and making himself available for Gomes.
Gomez going for it all, and it's hauled in. Highlight reel catch by Logan Taft. What a play.
That was a play. The 6'2", big target senior for Millard West going up and getting it. He got behind the defense. Gomes saw it, delivered a perfect pass there down the sideline. And Millard West is in business.
Pickup of 30. It's first and goal to go from the 5. Handoff up the middle. Nowhere to go for Valencia.
And see, that's one of those plays that I was talking about earlier, where you got to keep running it up the middle. You know you're not having much success, but it keeps the defense honest. How are these receivers getting open for Millard West? Well, that's because Grand Island is focusing on this rushing attack so much.
That was Francel on the tackle. No gain on the play.
Now you got Beanham in the slot. Look out.
Gomez on the option, pitches it. Nobody home. Glance taken down by Sam Sims, who closed on that in a hurry. Quarterback pitch to the other quarterback.
You hear so often, play with leverage, play with leverage. Sam Sims doing teach tape material out there, keeping his outside shoulder open, playing with great leverage there, turning the ball carrier back inside, then completing the tackle himself. What a play for Sims.
He is the heart and soul of this defense on that linebacking core for the Islanders. Now third and goal from the 7. Take the handoff, bootleg. Gomez looking back to the other side of the field. He drops it in there. Are you kidding me? Touchdown, Jackson Hazen. And Millard West strikes first.
Hazen did a real good job of looking at the eyes of Gomes and trying to get lost in the back of the end zone there. At first, I thought thrown across your body, a lot of white jerseys in between you and receiver. It looked like a mistake. Perfect pass for the first score. Millard West on the board.
And you know how close that was to a pick 6 by Ace McInnes?
Yeah, at first it looked like an ill-advised throw, but hey, the Wildcats strike first.
PAT is good. 7-zip Wildcats, 9:21 to play in the second quarter. We'll be back. Welcome back here, 9:21 to play, and Gomez hits Hazen for a 7-yard touchdown strike here to put Millard West on the board first in the second quarter.
When you saw what Millard West had to do there, they had to put the ball in the air. That's what really kind of sparked that offensive drive, is when Gomez hit his big tight end with that little jump pass that kind of softened up the defense, and they've got some success here in the second quarter through the air.
Douglas looking for a seam on the return, and he's brought down at the 26.
That's a nice return. Just go straight up the middle. You had a middle return there. Don't try and get outside. Go where your blockers are and just pick up the yardage that the return team's going to give you. Now you know Mr. Cole Evans in this offensive GI, they're going to want to answer here. Let's see if the Grand Island coaching staff kind of opens up the playbook a little bit and elects to go through the air as well.
Ball on the 26, option, and it's pitched behind the running back. And my goodness, the Islanders, scary situations here as Riley was able to hop back on it.
Yeah, they really dodged a bullet on that one. Millard West had that play sniffed out from the beginning. A lot of defenders around the ball on the turf. Grand Island is just fortunate to get that one back.
So loss of 5. End around. And Caleb Francel not quite able to get to the corner. Maybe gets one back.
Speedy Francel does a real good job on that jet sweep style of play. Not picking up a lot of yardage, though. You got to credit that Millard West defense for staying true and keeping contained on the edge.
That's Carson Cahoy now playing for GI as we have a flag thrown in, so our apologies, Cahoy playing for the Islanders.
Yeah, that might be that ankle issue that Alex was talking about down on the sideline. Yeah, the holding penalty anyway, but Cahoy's got to get rid of that ball back there.
So the holding penalty declined, and 4th and 17. Now for the Islanders, they'll be forced to punt this one away. Big punt, and it rolls into Millard West's side of the field, down at the 44.
Still a short field to work with for Millard West here. Nice field position. Defense came out 3 and out, just like you draw it up. Really impressed with the defensive end play here for Millard West. Not losing contain, because you know Grand Island wants to get the edge. They tried it on a couple occasions there with the option, then with the jet sweep the other way. Both ends tested, both ends did their job.
Gomez, pressure up the middle, lets it fly up the seam, hauled in for another big catch. And who else but the leading receiver for Millard West in Dallas Beanham, yet again his 3rd reception. That was his biggest of the night.
Now when I'm talking about high point in the ball, you'll see it on the replay here. Beanham going up in traffic. Look at that, getting his hands up, reeling it in, and he knew he was gonna take a shot at the end of that play. That didn't take his head away from the ball at all. Looked it all the way in, came down. Big gain for Millard West.
Pickup of 30. Ball now on the 25. Nowhere to go for Valencia. And that was Rodebush making a big stop.
Yeah, not much running room there for Valencia as of yet. Kept his legs churning, just the defensive front for Grand Island staying stout here. Not much doing running-wise for the Wildcats.
2nd and 10, there was no gain on that last play. Trips to the near side. Gomez again up the middle, another hard hit. And are you kidding me? Once again, Beanham hauls it in.
Now Beanham's really showing his versatility here. Last play he had to go up and get it. This play he had to go down and get it. Just scooping that right up off the turf there. And once again, he knew he was going to take a shot. He didn't take his eyes off the ball, looked it all the way in.
And it's not like Beanham's running everywhere wide open. He's been tightly covered and, like you mentioned, hit right after he catches the ball.
No, you're exactly right, Brandon. Beanham's just going and getting the ball. You know what they say, good defense gets beat by great offense.
1st and goal to go from the 9. That was Glantz on the carry.
How many times have we how many times have we seen a play down the field for Millard West, they complete it, and then they come back and they just run it right up the middle, real quick.
Second and goal from the 6. Gomez checking back in. Gomez looking to the near side. Incomplete. That was Kennedy he was looking for.
And they got what they wanted. They got man-to-man coverage on the outside. Kennedy nearly reeled that one in. Brings up a critical 3rd and goal here on the 6-yard line.
.5:25 left here in the half. Millard West looking to add to its lead. And the Wildcats will take a timeout here with 3rd and goal to go from the 6 upcoming. We'll take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching high school football on News Channel Nebraska. Welcome back. A keeper here for Gomez coming out of the timeout. He cuts it up.
Oh.
And he scores. Millard West up 13-0.
And there you're seeing the ability of Gomez to improvise. The pass wasn't there. He cut it upfield, picked up the 6 yards, picked up a huge rebound for Millard West to go up 2 scores here in the 2nd quarter.
Extra point is good as well. The Wildcats double its lead 14-0. Another look at this here, brought to you by Great Western Bank, stopping on a dime. Gomez getting it in there.
That was a real nice juke move there at the goal line. As you saw Sam Sims, big number 7, really barreling down on him. I'd want to stop and run away from that guy too. Gomez, really nice looking goal line run for the score. Millard West up 14-0.
So Grand Island looking to answer again. Cole Evans has not been out on the field for the majority of this first half. Carson Cahoy, the backup.
Yeah, and that really hurts you in a couple of ways because Cahoy's developed into a really nice receiver for this Grand Island offense. So not only do you lose Cahoy as a receiver, you lose Cole Evans as your quarterback.
And we'll hear from Alex Loroff later to figure out exactly what's going on. Brock Douglas issues fielding it there, and Millard West with the big-time coverage play. Grand Island has a long field.
Grand Island's really been losing the field position game, the game within the game here as of late. Millard West doing a really good job on special teams. Coverage team getting down there. You saw the muff on the receiving that, but you really got to credit the Wildcat coverage for getting down there and making it happen, giving GI another long field to work with.
Long field, and Cahoy hands it off to Riley. Gets to the edge. That's a nice little pickup on 1st down.
And I think that's where I would go with the football. If I was on the Grand Island offensive coaching staff, get the ball to Riley. He's your playmaker. He's your workhorse. We highlight him in the pregame, already over 500 yards rushing. Just get him inside, get him outside. He can do it all, but you got to lean on your senior leaders now.
2nd and 5. Same play, but Riley trying to get to the other side of the field. This time, the Wildcats had that play figured out. Huser making the tackle.
Only a gain of 1, but that brings up a 3rd and very manageable 4 yards for this Grand Island offense.
3rd and 4 here.
Some pressure on him.
Cahoy getting the play call from the sideline. He's going to keep it, rolls out, has his receiver, that'll move the sticks, finding Kean Wentling.
We've seen that a couple times from Coach Tomlin for Grand Island. You think they're going to run the ball. They do it so well, especially on a 3rd and short, 3rd and medium, electing to go in the air, kind of catching this Wildcat defense off guard a little bit, picking up a big first down.
That was Butler on the tackle. We're under 4 minutes to play in the half. Nowhere to go for Riley. Braden Cundiff and friends were in on that one.
And Sykes slow to get up, still on a knee. I think the officials might have to call an injury timeout here. Sykes still down on one knee.
3:32 to play. We'll take a timeout as well. Wildcats lead 14-0. And welcome back. Coming out of the timeout, 2nd and 10. Sykes was the injured player for the Islanders. Back in action. There's a big hole right up the middle. And it's Francel in a foot race across the 30. The 25 brought down near the 20. Francel's first carry, he makes an instant impact.
And that's what speed can do for you. We talked about Francel's speed earlier. They almost got there with an end around or that jet sweep. Quick hitter right up the middle. Huge gain for the GI offense.
62-yard pickup. And he had a huge game against Lincoln High, 3 touchdowns over 100 yards. And when you have him coming down as more or less your 3rd option at running back, it's a good problem to have for Coach Tomlin.
Embarrassment of riches, as they say, at the running back position for Grand Island this year.
First and 10, ball on the 23 after that huge pickup by Francel. Riley on the sweeps, tackled near the 20. Now again, Carson Cahoy in at quarterback because Cole Evans, the starter, is out. Let's go down to the field for a report with Alex Soloroff.
And Brandon, while I wasn't able to get an official prognosis from the Grand Island athletic trainer, we can tell you that Cole Evans' night is indeed finished. He had an ice bag wrapped around that right ankle at the end of the first quarter as well. He had crutches brought out to him, which he had supporting him on the sideline. He was driven off the field in a cart, and as you can see now, it looks like it will be Carson Cahoy for the rest of the way for the Islanders here tonight.
So tough news for Islander fans. Thank you for that report, Alex Soloroff. Cole Evans done for the night, starting senior quarterback for the Islanders. It's Carson Cahoy the rest of the way.
Uh-oh.
We have a flag pre-snap.
Both teams really settled down after that initial wave of flags in the first quarter. If you're a Grand Island fan, you hate to see that. You were in a 3rd and 5, 3rd and very manageable, as I like to say. Now you're back behind the sticks, 3rd and long. And yeah, that's going to change the complexion of this game with Cole Evans being out, because not only do you lose him as a quarterback, Cahoy's one of your better receivers.
And that one slips through Cahoy's hands. He picks it up, and he's being chased from behind, lets it fly. Incomplete pass as Beanham on the coverage, intended for Grand Island's Wentling.
I feel like I kind of jinxed Cahoy there. I was talking about what a great receiver he was, and the ball went right through his hands. That might have been a little bit of commentator curse there.
He did do a good job staying composed, picking it up and getting away from the rush.
Well, that's what I was thinking. He had the wherewithal to still kind of turn it into a bootleg, and he delivered a pretty good ball to the end zone. Pretty good opportunity there for the GI offense, considering how that play started.
So the Islanders taking a timeout here, 4th and 10, ball on the 23. I'd like to remind you, our streaming sponsor for tonight's game, brought to you by the University of Nebraska-Kearney. UNK is the most affordable university in the state. Quality academics matched with low tuition makes the University of Nebraska at Kearney a wise choice. Apply today and start making a difference. Visit unk.edu. Decision-making time here, Andy, 4th and 10. Ball in the 23.
Well, both coaching staffs like to be real aggressive, and they stay aggressive in their play calling. Not surprised that the offensive unit is coming out to try and complete this 4th and 10.
Cahoy, plenty of time. He's going for Douglas on the comebacker. Douglas on the comebacker goes in from 23 yards out.
Wow, what a play for a backup quarterback to come in and make a back shoulder throw to Douglas. Douglas snapped it off so well, the defender, the outside corner, actually fell to a knee there and enabled Douglas to get it into the end zone. Huge answer, huge drive for the Islanders here.
Talk about faith in your backup quarterback, Andy. Like you said, PAT up and good.
You had to make a play if you're Grand Island. You had to kind of put it on the line and get an answer going into half, and what a play it was.
4th and 10, 23-yard pickup to Brock Douglas, his 4th touchdown of this season. The Islanders cut the lead in half. We'll be right back. Welcome back here to the second quarter. 1:47 to play. The Islanders on the board. You had that huge 62-yard run.
Yeah.
And then it turns into a 4th and 10, 23-yard touchdown pass. And sometimes you need those breaks to go your way to get back into a ball game.
Yeah, that's exactly what the doctor ordered. If you're a Grand Island fan, you needed an answer. You need something positive to happen on offense, especially going into the half here. Less than 2 minutes left. They elect to go for it on 4th down. Your backup quarterback, Cahoy, steps up to the plate and delivers a strike to the end zone to Brock Douglas, who ran a fabulous route there. Another thing that this does, though, with scoring with just about 2 minutes left, that gives Millard West offense a chance to answer here, and we've seen them really get something rolling offensively through the air. More than enough time for Millard West to drive down and pick up another score before we go into this half.
Islanders will get another crack at kicking this. Fielded near the 10. And the return comes out to about the 23. That was Kennedy on the return.
Kennedy did a real nice job scooping that ball up and getting upfield. Not an easy play to do. Garrett Kennedy, the senior wide receiver, good hands. Almost looked like a middle fielder there for a baseball team. The way he scooped that ball up. Now you got to think Grand Island's going to go with that Tampa 2 look where they have 2 safeties over the top, and you got to be a little bit worried if you are a GI fan because of the success Millard West has had through the air, especially to beat them.
And right up the middle, and it's Valencia, his biggest carry of the night. It goes for 14 yards.
But it might be coming back. We got another flag on the field.
First quarter started off with a litany of flags, then we kind of got away from it a little bit, and now they're starting to come back.
Yeah, I thought those big game jitters were kind of getting to both teams, then they really settled down. Now to close out the half here, we're seeing a few more flags come out.
Called tripping against Millard West.
Yeah, that's an illegal block when you get those trips in there. Your outside offensive players were throwing their hands up like, hey, what'd I do? Well, tripping's illegal.
I'd like to remind you to feel free to interact with News Channel Nebraska on Twitter, specifically our sports account at NCN Sports. Use the hashtag NebPreps. Give us a tweet, give us a follow. You'll get highlights, game reports, and analysis. And if you tweet at us right now during the game, we'll give you a shout out live on the air. Let us know who you're cheering for, where you're watching from, anything else fun you might like to throw in there. Again, the handle is at NCN Sports. We're trying to get to that 5,000 follower mark. We're at about 4,100 right now, so little ways to go.
Yeah, we're very Twitter friendly. Love the interaction on social media, and right there you saw some tough sledding up the middle again. And that's really what hurt them on that first down play. They kind of caught GI looking for the pass. They came back with the run. GI was ready for it.
So 2nd and 13 here. Clock continuing to run.
Yeah, now that you're behind the sticks, you got the lead, kind of expect a conservative play call here.
And it's Valencia bouncing to the outside. Tackled near the 25, pickup of 3. Sims on the tackle.
And I like this move from Coach Tomlin, calling the timeout, forcing Millard West to run another play here with 17 seconds left. If they can shut them down on 3rd down, they'll call another timeout and force them to punt. We know Grand Island loves to use their special teams to their advantage. They work on it a lot throughout the week. So Grand Island's playing for the punt return right now.
We've seen some big returns before this season by that punting unit, or punt return unit, I should say, for the Islanders.
Well, and Brock Douglas, he's kind of on fire right now. He had the big reception for the touchdown moments ago. He's also one of their main return men. You know, you got to ride the hot hand. This is a smart move for GI to call that timeout, force Millard West to run another play here.
Third and 9. There's a fake swing pass going for it all. Beanham catches it at the 45. There was a flag. But my goodness, what a talent.
Beanham did such an excellent job adjusting to the ball while it was in the air. Once again, in traffic. Oh my goodness, Beanham going up and high pointing the ball. That is not an easy play to do.
So far, Beanham with 4 receptions for 55 yards.
And it's all negated what looks to be another holding penalty. But what a play for Beanham.
That would have put him near 80 yards had that one counted.
Procedure against the Wildcats.
Now how about Gomez hanging in the pocket there, buying just a little bit of extra time, allowing his receivers to get downfield, then really just airing it out, trusting his receiver to go up and make a play.
So the clock running after the penalty, and that'll do it for the first half of play. Millard West 14, Grand Island to 7. Don't go anywhere. We have our halftime show coming up. We'll have highlights, stats, and analysis here. We have a good one in Omaha. And welcome back here to Omaha. Brandon Axman, Andy Klassen with you, also joined by Alex Loroff on the sideline. Glad that you are with us tonight here for this top 5 matchup between Grand Island, number 3 team in Class A, Millard West, number 4. Now, already having some little hiccups in the storyline. The biggest and most notable, of course, Cole Evans, starting quarterback for GI, is out. According to Alex Loroff, our sideline reporter, he's going to be out for the rest of the ball game, and of course, that's always a big impact. But we did see Carson Cahoy come up huge on 4th and 10 to get the Islanders on the board here toward the end of the half.
Yeah, Cahoy's more than capable to deliver the ball, especially through the air. I like what he brings to this offensive unit as far as airing it out, and that might be exactly what GI needs to do here. We've seen him have some success through the air, most notably the big touchdown pass at the end there to get on the board. That was a huge score going into the half. You wanted to get on the board, cutting it within a 1-score game now.
Now the big impact player, of course, for Millard West, Dallas Beanham, 4 catches, 55 yards. He is all over the place. He's been blanketed, but that hasn't mattered because he is still making plays.
Well, you know, when you highlight a guy for us to talk about before the game, I never question it, Brandon, and for good reason. Beanham coming out. Some players, when the bright lights are on, everyone's watching Thursday Night Football here on NCN, they come out to play. Beanham doing such a great job of adjusting to the ball in the air, something he's done all season long. We're seeing it front and center here tonight. Now,
in terms of the Wildcats scoring, it was Gomez who hit Hazen on what seemed like a weird broken play, but it was a 7-yard score, and then Gomez, for the second touchdown, took it in himself, and so quarterback for Millard West playing very well also.
I'll tell you what, we're kind of seeing a lot here from Gomez, his ability to pass the ball, his ability to improvise, and when he does improvise, Sometimes he runs it, sometimes he passes it. We saw it for 2 different scores here, accounting for 14 points. Very impressed with what I've seen for Gomez in the first half.
It's homecoming here tonight, great atmosphere, and it's extended halftime. So we'll take another break, come back with some highlights, as well as a report from the sideline with Alex Loroff, and we will eventually be back to football here on News Channel Nebraska. Thanks for being with us. And welcome back here to Millard Southfield. Brendan Axman, Andy Klassen with you. Homecoming and halftime. It's a 7-point ball game. The Wildcats leading the Islanders. Let's take a look at some of those highlights in the first half of play. It was the Wildcats, though, Andy, who got started first. Now here's the few rare clips we have of Cole Evans, starting quarterback for the Islanders, who is out due to injury. Carson Cahoy has come in his place. But John Riley, he is the leading rusher right now for the Islanders with 9 carries so far. He hasn't been able to bust any big ones off, though. He's sitting right at 29 yards for Grand Island. Now there's a guy's name we called quite a bit, Beenum. Actually one of the few he didn't catch. That was Ace McInnes on the coverage for the Islanders, but that has been a battle that's been taking place all game long. Now here's Evans with the throw, as really the first 4 drives, 2 for the Islanders and 2 for Millard West, resulted in punts. It was the defense who came to play. First quarter we were scoreless after the first 12 minutes. More defense here by that Grand Islander front line, stuffing the quarterback Gomez there.
Yeah, the defense really stole the show, especially in that first quarter.
There is that INT, though, by Beenum, as he has just been all over the field. He seems to be a magnet for the ball.
Yeah, he's a ball hawk, Brandon.
And that's what ended up setting up a score for Millard West. That was a 30-yard pitch and catch. And it would set up this, what looked like, again, a broken play. Ace McInnes just misjudging it there. Hazen with the reception from 7 yards out. That was at 9:21 left in the half. That made it 7-0 Millard West after the PAT. One more look at it there, Andy, because that deserves a second look.
Yeah, trio of receivers getting involved there for Millard West, as he had Taft with the big play, Hazen with the touchdown, and then the guy we've been talking about all evening here, Beenum, with a couple big receptions to set that all up.
And again, it got a little shaky for the Islanders with Cahoy coming in. That pitch a little bit behind Riley. The Islanders did still get back on the ball on that occasion, but they would be unable to score on this drive particularly. So then Millard West would go back to the air. There's Beenum again, hauling in just another 25-yarder. He has 4 receptions for 55 yards so far in the first half.
That's a difficult catch, going to the middle of the field on that seam route there, or that post route. He knew he was going to take a hit, reeled it in regardless.
Beenum again. That was a 1-2 play on those 2 catches right back to back. And it was Gomez with the throw. Gomez would end up finding the end zone for Millard West. This was on 3rd and 7. Not known for his running ability. It's actually Glantz who comes in when Coach Peterson wants to do more running plays. But he said, hey, Coach, I got legs too. He took it in from 7 yards out. That made it 14-0. But Caleb Fransel, dude has speed, 62 yards, which would end up setting up Grand Island's lone score of the half.
Yeah, he was so close to breaking a couple earlier on. Finally got there, got through the hole, and got upfield in a hurry for a 62-yard gain, setting up that score.
And here's Fransel rolling out, unable to connect with Wentling there, but the Islanders kept trying before the halftime break, and eventually their persistence would be rewarded on 4th and 10. Jeff Tomlin dialing it up. Cahoy to Brock Douglas. Douglas finds the end zone for a 23-yard strike. Again, that's Douglas's 3rd touchdown of this season. That would make it 14-7. Millard West would be unable to score with the final minute 40 or so left in the half, and that's where we sit right now, Andy.
And another thing that made that play so impressive, that scoring, that toss from Cahoy to Douglas, it was 4th and 10. He also had a backup quarterback, and that was a timing route. That was a comeback route from Douglas. A lot of times when you bring in your reserve, some of those timing routes aren't there. Boy, it was there, and it was there in a big way for a huge answer. GI needed to get on the board. They needed to answer before going into half, in my estimation. They did so. It's a 1-score game. Gets it back to a 1-score game. and now it's really living up to the hype. It's 14-7. The defense on both sides really came to play, took over the game in the first quarter. You saw some adjustments being made, and the offenses came to life late in the second.
Again, glad you're with us here for the USAVE Pharmacy halftime show, brought to you by your locally owned USAVE. They support their communities and area athletes and are proud to be the low price leader with the hometown touch. Find a location near you at usaverx.com.
And of course, it's homecoming again here at Millard West. I think this is our 5th homecoming game in a row. Regardless if it's a collegiate game we're doing or a high school game, we do all the homecomings here at NCN.
Well, we're going to keep the trend going because SCOTUS at Lakeview tomorrow's homecoming. Then we have Grand Island hosting Lincoln Southwest next Friday. That's homecoming as well, so we just know how to pick them apparently, as the royalty has been coming up on the field.
Hey, it's a celebration when we come to the stadium. We did University of Kearney's homecoming. Last weekend did Wayne State's homecoming game. I'm telling you, it's a festival when we roll in.
Well, the fanfare has certainly been here tonight. A beautiful, crisp fall evening in Omaha for this Thursday night football edition on News Channel Nebraska. We'll take another quick break and continue with our halftime show when we return. Welcome back here to Omaha. We're getting ready to go in the second half. Number 4 Millard West leading number 3 Grand Island 14-7. Brandon Axmit, Andy Klassen, and Alex Loroff with you on the sidelines. Again, we asked for you to interact with us on Twitter at NCN Sports. Give us a follow, tweet at us. We'll give you a shout out live on the air. You could be like Dean Elliott, Andy, who tweets at NCN Sports, watching the Gish game on TV in GI. Thank you for broadcasting, says Dean Elliott. Thank you for watching. Also, Bo Walker tweets at NCN Sports and tags Carson Gahoy, backup QB for GI. Says once Carson Gahoy gets his mojo going, he's going to be a big threat at QB. That's Bo Walker tweeting at NCN Sports.
Got to agree with Bo. Gahoy really came through, especially after his second and third series, and got that offense clicking for GI.
Also, Braden Collins and Colton Keyser both tweeting at NCN Sports saying, "Go Gish," as we have a good coverage play by the Islanders to start things here. And a late flag comes in.
Saw a little bit of a scrum there as the teams were coming up from the pile there. I wonder if there's a little extra shoving and pushing that the officials threw the flag at there.
Personal foul against the Islanders. That's not how you want to start things.
No, you had a real nice, kind of caught them off guard there with the squib kick. Your coverage team got there. Then you get the PI.
Well, they're marching off the yardage. Let's check down to the field. Alex Loroff has a report.
And Brandon, as Millard West begins this drive, they lead at 14-7 over the undefeated Islanders. And just listening to Coach Peterson on the sideline as the Wildcats came out after halftime, it was sort of a stoic vibe from the Wildcats. They are focused. They know what they need to do to get this W here tonight. To stay the course on offense, they were moving the ball very well in that first half. And on the defensive side of the ball, I heard Coach Peterson stress the importance of keeping the pressure on the quarterback, especially now with the backup quarterback for Grand Island being in the game for the rest of the way. Millard West, the goal is to stay the course on the offensive side of the ball and create as much havoc as they can defensively to come away with the victory here tonight and hand the Islanders their first loss of the 2018 regular season.
Thank you, Alex, for that report. So Millard West, good field position after that penalty. Starting at the 47, and they go to the air to Beanham. Picks up right where he left off. There's a gain of 8 on first down.
Real nice play design there. You had 2 receivers going over the top of Beanham, kind of took the coverage with them. Beanham kind of slipped in beneath there, got himself open for a nice gain on first down. Wildcats electing to go to the air to start things off here in the third quarter.
2nd and 2. Millard West already in Islander territory. It's a quarterback keeper. Now it's Glantz. Does his job, gets the first down.
Another flag on the play, though. Let's see what the officials have.
It'll be against Millard West.
Another one of those holding penalties, and the third quarter starting off just the way the first quarter did. 3 plays, 2 flags.
Arches it back, turns a 2nd and 2 into a 2nd and 11. Ethan, can you see?
Gomes did a real nice job of knowing where the marker was and leaning forward, extending the ball out to pick up that first down.
Another keeper. It's a fake keeper, actually, a little dump. We saw that play once in the first half. Didn't work that time.
Yeah, the first time it really worked out for him. A lot of things happened so fast around the line of scrimmage there. Harmdirks did a good job of turning around the first time around. Didn't quite get off of his block the second time. Tell you what, Millard West was lucky that GI didn't pick that one off.
3rd and 11.
And it doesn't matter what style of offense you run. This is not the position you want to be in, 3rd and long.
Islanders bringing pressure up the middle. Gomez with time and just unable to connect with Beanham. Looks like that might have slipped out of his fingertips a little bit.
Ben Riley really made that play difficult for the Wildcats. He was the free safety or the outside linebacker that rolled out. He forced Gomes to throw over the top of him. Very difficult pass to complete, especially to the outside as it was.
So the Islander defense does its job even after that personal foul penalty on the kickoff. Millard West forced to punt. And Douglas fields this at the 21. Flag thrown as well. Douglas gets around the corner, tries to reverse the field, but this might be coming back. We'll see.
Yeah, both coaching staffs are kind of pulling out their hair right now. Every time they get something good going, you see some laundry on the field. You thought you got rid of those big game jitters. Both teams a little too eager here to start things off here in the second half.
And so, still waiting on the call. Looks like they're going to put the ball back near the 20. They're going to march it off from the
Yeah, much like Gomez made a real nice play to pick up a first down, negated by the penalty. A holding penalty is going to take away that real nice return from Douglas.
takes GI back to their own 13. Cahoy hands it off right up the middle, still chugging his legs. John Riley, pickup of 20.
Yeah, you know the Islanders want to get Riley involved in really the bell cow of that offensive rushing attack. And nothing helps a quarterback out more than a strong running game.
That's Riley's biggest run of the contest. Millard West did a great job bottling him up in the first half. They do it again there. That was Aniello on the tackle.
Aniello shot the gap real well from that nose guard position, got in the backfield, wrapped up Riley for the short loss. You see a lot of those guys play with good power, playing with some speed there.
Riley hitting the backfield, but he gets away. Gets about 7. We have another flag.
Yeah, flag thrown a little later in the play from the back judge position.
Against Grand Island.
Moving back even more, gonna bring up about a 2nd and 21 here.
Another holding penalty. That's something you can't afford to do, especially if you're Grand Island.
So officially brings up a 2nd and 15. You're exactly right, Brandon. You got to keep your hands in. You cannot pull that jersey away.
Cahoy rolling out. And we have a big hit there. Following the incompletion, that was Riley who took the knock. And that was Putler who laid the wood.
Wow, bringing the wood. Now, I don't want to get too ticky-tacky here, but I thought his head kind of went down and he made helmet contact. Watch it here on the replay. Nah, you got to call that good. That was right between the numbers. Textbook play.
3rd and 15 here. Grand Island with 3 split out to the near side. Cahoy on the little tight end dump. Unable to be hauled in by Kyle Sextro. And the Islanders will have to punt.
Millard West doing a real nice job of rallying up to the ball. These defensive backs being very active. Now they got Grand Island in a position where they knew they were going to pass, but they held up their end of the bargain, forcing Grand Island to punt the ball away.
Wildcats had some pressure there. Trying to get around the wedge, still going is Kennedy, tackled near the 45.
We've seen some good things out of Kennedy tonight, defensively, offensively, in the return game. I really liked how he scooped up one of those kickoffs off the turf. There you see him move it to the outside there, and he had a real nice stiff arm at the end of the play there to pick up another 8 or 9 yards on the end of that return.
Millard West once again starting in Grand Island territory. And interesting there is Gomez was unsure really what to do apparently, or there was a miscommunication on the handoff. He still did a good job to get positive yards.
Yeah.
Also a flag on the field.
Looked as the running back had the ball in his arms. Gomez somehow getting it away from his own guy, leaning forward, picking up a short gain there, maybe a half yard.
Handoff up the middle. Not much there for Valencia.
Yeah, now you're starting to see both defensive units here for Grand Island and Millard West really pin their ears back, kind of leaning on their scouting report there. Going to bring up a 3rd and 9. Now I'd have to think Coach Tomlin's going to bring some pressure here, either from the edge or up the middle. Likes to do that in a multitude of ways.
Linebackers staying back in coverage, trying to float it, and great pass coverage by the Islanders at Tikpahu.
Tikpahu did a really good job not letting the physicality of the receiver there deter of what he was trying to do. I appreciate the no call, that no flags came out, as both the defense and the offense was kind of jarring, sparring for position there.
You talk about both of these corners, Tikpahu and Ace McInnes, both juniors, both starting their first varsity experience this year, and they've done so well.
And they've usually have to give up some size. You just saw on the last play there, Taft for Millard West is 6'2". These DBs are really hanging in. They're doing a good job for the Grand Island defense.
So touchback, Islanders will get the ball at the 20.
Yeah, now you're seeing some really good adjustments from these coaching staffs coming out of the half. The defense was ahead of the offense to start off the game. It appears to be the same way here to start off the second half.
Handoff to Riley. Sheds the first couple of blockers. Picks up 3 to 4.
Yeah, and there's that strong defensive front there for Millard West showing up. Really just stops so many of these rushing attacks before they even get a chance to develop.
Riley already with 23 yards here in the second half. It's about as much as he had on 9 carries in the first half. Pre-snap whistle. Ball start against Grand Island.
That might have been on Sykes cutting across the field there. He wanted to get upfield, kind of broke out of his motion there, leaned towards the line of scrimmage. You can't do that. That's just like an offensive lineman coming out of his stance.
And that one just a little bit short. Third and 11 here. And there's a pass to Sextro, unable to connect. Islanders will be forced to punt.
Bringing the pressure and getting home, forcing Cahoy to kind of throw that ball before he wanted to. Receiver didn't even have the opportunity to get beyond the sticks anyhow. Top to bottom, that was a great defensive stand for Millard West.
So Kennedy back to return. He had a nice one on the last punt. And Kirk Peterson will take a timeout here for the Wildcats. 6:33 remaining here in the third. We'll take a break as well. Don't go anywhere. So welcome back here, Grand Island. Forced to punt at second 3 and out here of the second half, and that one barely getting away. Takes an Islander bounce. It rolls out of bounds near the 45. I said this before, Andy. We have a penalty flag.
Yeah, it sounds like a broken record here. Too many flags on the field for both coaching staffs to really care for.
Oh, wow. Personal foul, roughing the kicker. Automatic first down for the Islanders.
And that's not what you wanted to see coming out of a timeout. Coach Kirk Peterson called the timeout. You got to think that maybe he saw something in the blocking scheme from GI, so they're going to go for the block. It ends up resulting in a penalty, a huge penalty, giving GI new life. And then, you know, the only time GI actually scored tonight was when a penalty helped prolong their drive.
First and 10, ball in the 33. Not much doing there for Sykes.
Yeah, so new life, new set of downs for the GI offensive unit, but same doing. Millard West staying real stout up front.
Cahoy with a quick snap on the swing pass. Big pickup near a first down, John Riley.
John Riley kind of showing you another side of his game. He's good at catching the ball out of the backfield too, and I love when he puts his foot in the ground and gets upfield, picks up yards in a hurry.
3rd and 1 here.
He also had a real nice block from the slot receiver to kind of spring him.
And Cahoy getting the call from the sideline. Oh, wow. Great second effort there. Sykes looked like he was going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage. But that second effort, Andy, got him the first.
It was all about the second effort there for Sykes. You saw him just make a little move from left to right, then lean forward, knew where he had to get to. Millard West knew it was coming. They had 8 guys in the box that time.
Another quick snap and more hard yards for Sykes.
And I think you're seeing what Coach Kirk Peterson from Millard West wants to do. He wants Cahoy. He wants the pressure on the backup quarterback, Cahoy. He's saying, beat me through the air, young man. We're not going to allow these rushers, the stable of running backs, to beat us on the ground.
Nowhere to go on the ground game for Riley. Officials opting to hold on to the whistle for a little bit.
Yeah.
No gain on the play.
Now, obviously, we've been impressed with the interior alignment for Millard West, but I've also been impressed with the defensive ends keeping contained. GI put so much pressure on the defensive ends trying to get to the corner. Nothing doing thus far.
3rd and 9, play action. Cahoy being flushed out of the pocket. He's going to try to do it with his legs. Lowered his shoulder, tackled near the 50. That's not going to be enough for a first.
No, it's not. You got to credit the Wildcat defense coming back after a huge penalty on special teams, pitching another 3 and out here.
Under 4 minutes here. Kennedy back to return. We have a flag prior to the snap.
Might have been a illegal procedure there on the gunner. Wetling, number 17 for Grand Island, took off just a little too early.
Islanders back 5 more.
And more than anything, what that penalty did on special teams previously, it flipped the field position. Millard West was winning the field position battle here in the second half. They kind of gave it back there.
And the ball popped out on the return. And the Islanders have it. Wentling recovers. And that is a huge momentum shifter in favor of the Islanders. The strip there from Atikpahu. Ball goes backwards, and Wentling is there to dive on it.
Heads up play for Atikpahu, and then you see why Wentling was trying to get down there so fast. Great coverage team for Grand Island. We talked about how special teams and how turnovers would be such a critical part of this game. Huge play there.
Islanders on the 25. Cahoy hands it off. Riley, hard yards. There's 7 more.
Kind of like a pinball, and they're just bouncing off defenders, working his way upfield. You notice the pile always goes forward with Mr. Riley.
4 wide set here. Back to the ground. Riley, we say it every time too, but Andy, pinball's a good analogy. He always seems to get hit once, but you have to hit him at least 2 to 3 times before he's going down.
Well, he picked up an extra 2 yards there that I'm very impressed with. I mean, you had Cody Needham hitting him nearly in the backfield there for almost had a loss.
3rd and 2 with play action. That's enough for a first down, then some. Wentling brought down inside the 2-yard line.
And we were talking about second effort for Riley. How about Wentling there, breaking a couple tackles, nearly getting into the end zone. And now you're looking at GI getting lined up in a hurry here. They want to play with some pace.
1st and goal to go from the 2. Hand off to Franzel. He dives in there. And the Islanders are a point away from tying it.
What a call for GI. They had Millard West kind of on their heels, kind of reeling a little bit. Then you go back to your speedster, Franzel, and he finishes the deal at the goal line. Great adjustment as he got that handoff, working from right to left, going to the top of your screen there, diving across the goal line for a huge score.
2-yard carry for Franzel. Grand Island with the PAT. Ties things up 14-14.
And credit the huge special teams play there, the turnover generated by the cover team from Grand Island for this score, tying things up here with 2:05 left in the 3rd quarter.
Things are heating up here in Omaha. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back here Braden Axum and Andy Klassen with you. There is head coach Kirk Peterson and company trying to figure things out after the Islanders have tied things up here in the third quarter.
Yeah, and I think when Coach Peterson called that timeout on special teams, they're going to go for the block. They're going to really try and deliver kind of a KO knockout punch to Grand Island and cause a turnover. They got a little too aggressive, ran into, ended up being called roughing the punter, and that's what really kind of changed the momentum of this third quarter, kind of veered things back to Grand Island.
Shallow kick returned across the 40. Millard West will start at their 42.
Really got to credit Jackson Hazen, senior wide receiver, for going up and making that play. You know, that's kind of the risky run when you go with that kind of pooch punt, you know, that high style kick there. You try and catch Millard West off guard. Hazen doing a great job of not only receiving that, but then getting it upfield.
First and 10. Gomez with time to throw. I believe that's his favorite receiver, Beanham, blanketed and again caught it. Pickup of 7.
Well, you mentioned it. There's been some really tight coverage on Beanham, but he's still getting his hands on the ball and reeling those in. Real nice gain there, bringing up a 2nd and 3. And you don't always see that from Millard West, electing to pass the ball on first down.
Another pass, pump fake, going for it all up the sideline. McInnes is there. Beanham, we know he has a leaping ability, but unable to haul that one in, so he is human after all.
I kept my eyes on McInnes there the entire time. That pump fake, he didn't break stride whatsoever. He just kept falling back into coverage. That is a disciplined play from the junior cornerback.
Third and 3. No back set for the Wildcats. Gomez is going to keep it. He gets the first down. Gritty run across the 45.
Really like the play call there for Millard West. Spreading the defense out, you had 2 tight ends that were eligible. So GI had to cover them. Gomez finding a lane, getting to the marker, picking up the first down with his legs.
And we're at a minute to go. 14-14 on your Aurora Cooperative scoreboard. Go green with E15 and fill up at your nearest A stop today. Gomez again to the air. It's caught. That'll be a short pickup hauled in by Kennedy.
I'll tell you what, Kennedy did a heck of a job sticking with that play. He fell down out of his break, got back to his feet, and reeled in the catch. And Millard West kind of opening up the playbook here, going in the air, going through the air again on first down. I think you're starting to see some of that creativity offensively from the Wildcats.
Pickup of 4 makes it 2nd and 6. And off up the middle. Valencia gets a couple more.
Keeping the offense on schedule there, bringing up another 3rd and short, 3rd and 3 here. The entire playbook open for Millard West when we come back.
We have 12 minutes to go. 14-14 here in Omaha. Don't go anywhere. 4th quarter coming up on News Channel Nebraska. Welcome back. 3rd and 3. Start of the 4th quarter. Brandon Axman, Andy Klassen, Alex Loroff with you. Good second effort by Gomez, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Millard West did that exact same play when it was 3rd and 3 on the previous set of downs. Just looked like the Islanders were kind of ready for it there on defense. Punt team coming out, but I would not be surprised to see a fake here.
And you can see No one really deep back to return. Douglas is sort of playing that free safety role. Now he's sprinting back. Like you said, look for the fake. Wildcats punt it away. And it bounces and is down to near the 12-yard line. I'd like to remind you this broadcast is help made possible by several of our sponsors, including Central Nebraska Orthopedics. From advanced surgical techniques to sports medicine expertise, Central Nebraska Orthopedics is dedicated to the motion of life.
All right, well, we saw Coach Peterson for Millard West kind of open up the playbook offensively. Is Tomlin going to do the same for GI? Is he going to elect to pass on these early downs for Cahoy, which I think Cahoy feels comfortable delivering the ball through the air?
And they go to the air on first down. It's batted down. Now it's Christensen.
I'll tell you what, Dane Christensen, Cody Needham, these big fellas up front, they've been doing some serious work for this Millard West defense.
6'1", 200 pounds. Making the big play at the line there, 2nd and 10. Riley gets 2.
Yeah, and you want to get creative. You want to give the defense a different look, but you also got to keep in mind what got you here, and that's John Riley and that stable of running backs. You always got to lean on your running game regardless of how things are going.
3rd and 7. 4 wide for the Islanders. Cahoy, time in the pocket, lets it rip. Hauled in for the catch, Douglas. First down.
Douglas is having a really nice game from that wide receiver position, doing a really good job of adjusting to the ball. Here he had to go down and get it. And he also ran a really nice route. He was just a yard beyond the marker. He knew where he was on the field.
4 receptions, 57 yards for Douglas, including a touchdown as Riley gets the carry there.
Tackle by Humberts. Gain of 2, 2nd down and 8 from the 27.
Pickup of 2 there for Riley, makes it 2nd and 8.
That was 2 tough yards running right into the teeth of this Wildcat defense.
Franzel motions across, high snap. Cahoy in trouble, and that'll be a loss of 1. Christensen wrapped him up.
Yeah, Cahoy made a really good play, just going up and getting that snap and then just diving forward, trying to save whatever yardage he could. And that's how quick and how fast this defense is for Millard West. One little slip up, they're going to be on you.
3rd and 9. Cahoy, comebacker again. Douglas unable to haul it in. Covered by Anderson on the play.
Anderson made a fine play there, coming up and jarring the ball loose from Douglas. Timed it perfectly. You saw Millard West try and bring pressure up the middle with a linebacker blitz. It didn't get home, but the back end of the defense comes up with the play.
Not near as much pressure there. Booming punt, and it takes an Islander bounce and a massive roll. Down inside the 15. And Coach Tomlin will take that.
Well, for the majority of the 3rd quarter, Millard West really won that field position game. Now Grand Island's kind of winning that field position game.
Wildcats, 86 yards to go here.
Boy, this matchup has really lived up to the hype, to the billing. A number 4 versus number 5 matchup here. 14 all with 9:17 left in the game.
And low snap. And nothing doing for Glance. That was Jack Wemhoff coming in for the tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
No, and excuse me, Brandon, there on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard, it's a number 4 versus number 3 matchup. You know, it depends. There's too many polls out there. There's too many newspapers ranking these teams. I can't keep up with them all.
Yeah, we do know Grand Island is one of 3 undefeated teams. Class A, Millard West right behind them as well. And what we also know is they're 2 good teams, 2 of the top teams in Class A going at it right here on a Thursday night.
Really are. Millard West on a 4-game winning streak. Grand Island hasn't dropped a game yet this season.
2nd and 10. Going for it across the middle, jump ball pops out. That was Beanham once again trying to haul that one in.
My goodness, I thought Beanham came down with the ball. You saw the closing corner back there knock it loose, and then Wetling came in and almost recorded an interception. Watch the tail end of this play here.
Going to the ground. There, it popped out.
Oh.
Yep, Wetling.
My goodness. We're seeing great play all over the field here tonight.
Big 3rd and 11.
That was Ben Riley, number 3, that made the initial play on the ball.
Sims applying pressure from the outside, and a big-time catch. Tackled by McInnes, but not before Taft hauls it in for the 1st down.
Really like what Taft's done here tonight. He knows what his strengths are, and that's using his height to his advantage. Quarterback Gomez just throwing it up, letting the big fella go up and get it.
Seemed like the ball was in the air forever. Big-time pickup for Millard West, and they move the sticks.
Yeah, and Taft did a real good job of knowing where he was on the field, going beyond the 1st down marker, then turning around for the button hook and going up and getting the ball.
Quarterback keeper Sam Sims says not today. Nowhere for Gomez to go.
Yeah, Gomez thought about taking it outside. Sims once again playing with really good leverage. You also had number 10 Caleb Fransel coming up from the outside linebacker position, forcing Gomez to try and cut it back inside to no avail.
Second and 10. Gomez on the pump fake. Out and up route. McInnes is there. And nearly hauled it again by Beanham. Every time he goes up for a ball,
Wow.
you actually feel like he's going to come down with it.
It looked like he was going to come down with it. I am so impressed with these defensive backs for Grand Island sticking with the play. That is a tough chair route to stick with. You also had the pump fake in there. You had the free safety and the cornerback, both, neither one biting on it. McInnes doing an excellent job staying with Beanham.
3rd and 10. 3 wide set for the Wildcats. Pressure right up the middle. Gomez in trouble, gets away. Duck thrown up in the air and out of play.
Good decision there for Gomez to just throw the ball away. Sometimes you just got to take your medicine and live to play another down.
That was Hofeld who just came screaming right through the middle for the Islanders.
Yeah, that was a well-timed blitz there for the GI defense. Jordan Holdfeld shooting the gap, really disrupting that play.
Douglas back at the 48. High punt. He's going to have a chance to bring this one back. And he's tackled across the 40, so a short field for the Islanders. Like you mentioned, Andy, you keep talking about that field possession game that's more and more being played in the Islanders' favor here late in the contest.
And when Millard West had success on offense, when they got those 2 scores, they were playing with a shorter field. Most of those drives started on their side. Now you're seeing that tilt to Grand Island's advantage. Let's see what their offense can do with it here. Short field to work with starting on the 40.
Riley Tackled near the 35. They'll give him 5.
Gain of 4, second down and 6 from the 36.
And after another night of watching Riley, you just can't help but be impressed with the young man. You know where the ball's going. You know Grand Island's tendency to try and run it right up the middle or off tackle with Riley on first down. They do it time and time again. He still picks up 4 or 5 yards on first down.
Swing pass. Sextro hops on it. Now, I think they are going to rule that a backwards pass.
So that'll be treated as a fumble. Francel doing a real good job of getting on top of it.
So loss of 5. 3rd and 11. And there's a flag.
Penalty flag on the play.
Against Millard West.
Oh no, is that an offsides?
It might have been on, actually Beanham, I think, on the coverage.
Oh my goodness, from the outside there, they're trying to play a little bit of bump and run, knowing that he had help over the top. You're exactly right, Brandon, that's who they got. Now it brings up a 3rd and 6. A lot more options on the table if you're a play caller for Grand Island.
Cahoy again. On the out route, it's caught and a first down. And it's Francel coming and making the play. The running back can also catch as well.
Really can, just zipping across the middle of the field there. And that's what I'm talking about. It really opens up your options. You didn't have to hit the deep route. You could hit your running back cutting across the field to pick up the first down. Some costly mistakes here for Millard West.
Cahoy forced to run, doing it with his feet. And he picked up 3.
Cahoy running for his life, able to pick up 3. This aggressive attacking style defense from Millard West has really taken away that first option of what the Islanders want to do offensively. Cahoy doing a decent enough job there improvising, getting some positive yardage on first down.
Riley motioning out of the backfield. Nowhere to go for Sykes.
Braden Cundiff there closing down from that defensive end position. We brought him up a couple of times, how he's keeping contained, playing with a lot of discipline out there. He can also record a couple tackles too.
Another 3rd down for the Islanders, 3rd and 9. And that one behind the receiver, nearly picked off. So now what do you do, Andy? 4th and 9 from the 27.
It appears Grand Island's keeping their offense out there, so they're going to go for it. Now last year it was pretty interesting. They had a senior place kicker who could kick with some distance. They may have elected to kick the field goal last year. Not the case this year.
Ryan Kovarubius now kicking for UNK on Saturdays. 4th and 9, Cahoy airs it out. It goes through the hands of Douglas. Islanders will turn it over on downs.
Oh man, Douglas would like to have that one back. Cahoy put it on a dime, and I think it went right through his hands. Oh.
That's what you want. Douglas, the leading receiver for the Islanders, coming into this game, also with 55 yards and a touchdown so far tonight.
Yeah, that was good coverage. Once again, Gabe Anderson, the cornerback, number 1 for Millard West, he was right in his back pocket.
Just over 4 minutes to play. And Beanham hauls that one in. Gain of 5. That's his 7th reception.
Really like how Millard West's offensive coaching staff here is going with what's working for them. They're not just set on running the ball just because they're a running team. They're passing the ball on 1st and 2nd down, and guess what? They're going to Beanham, their playmaker, who's been making plays offensively, defensively all night long.
2nd and 5 for the Wildcats. Quick out route, hauled in, and a Tikbahu coming up to make the tackle. They have to be close to a first down. Dan Sullivan, his first reception, they're going to mark him just a bit short. And excuse me, they are going to move the chains.
Now we're talking about second effort. Sullivan did a real nice job kind of flaring out, getting his head snapped back around, locating the ball. Then he leaned forward there before you saw the defense rally up and knock him backwards. Good enough to pick up the first down.
And we have timeout by the Wildcats here. That is their second. First and 10 upcoming, 14-14 your score. We're going to take a break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back here. Brandon Axmit, Andy Klassen, Alex Loroff with you tonight for this battle between Millard West and Grand Island. I'd like to remind you, our streaming sponsor tonight is the University of Nebraska-Kearney. UNK is the most affordable university in the state. Quality academics matched with low tuition makes the University of Nebraska at Kearney a wise choice. Apply today and start making a difference. Visit unk.edu. First and 10 here. Coach Peterson took a timeout for Millard West. Wanted to draw something up here. Play action, bootleg, and out in front of his receiver. That'll bring up second and 10.
We talk about how the Wildcat offense here is electing to put the ball in the air. Well, the clock's becoming a little bit of a factor here. Under 3 minutes to play. Kind of bodes well for both of these offensive units, kind of being forced out of their comfort zone of running the ball. They've kind of had to lean on their passing attacks here tonight.
Again, if you're just joining us, Cole Evans, starting quarterback for Grand Island, has been out since the first quarter. Millard West took a 14-7 lead into halftime. Grand Island has scored the lone touchdown since the break. Pass to the outside. Still going, ball popped out, and it's jumped on by Riley. And are they going to say he was down? Conway had the reception. I think they said he was down. We'll take another look at it here. Whoa.
Oh boy. Oh boy. that ball might have came out before his backside was down on the turf there. Grand Island defense doing a real nice job of rallying up to the ball as it is. Real nice game there on second down. Gutsy catch and run after the catch for Wunderlich.
And so now going for it all, it's hauled in. And it's going to be a touchdown, 55 yards to Garrett Kennedy.
Kennedy doing a really nice job of making an adjustment right at the end. They're going back in to go snag that ball out of the air, keeping his feet through the contact, and then taking it, hauling it into the end zone for the go-ahead score.
And you talk about a momentum shift, what could have potentially been a fumble in Grand Islander ball. Next play is a 55-yard touchdown strike for the Wildcats. PAT is up. PAT is good. Millard West with a 7-point lead with just over 2 minutes to go. What a turn of events here in Omaha. Brandon Axmit, Andy Klassen, Alex Loroff with you. Millard West with a 55-yard touchdown strike. Gomez to Kennedy to give the Wildcats the lead here late in the ball game.
They tried to get Kennedy a couple times beforehand down the field. They go back to it. Kennedy made one heck of a play on the ball. And then he also kept his feet after the catch there. He got tangled up with McKennis, and then he was able to get it into the end zone for the go-ahead score here. 21-14, 2:18 left in the game.
Here comes Douglas. Right up the middle across the 25. He's still going. Drags a few more defenders with him to the 27.
Okay, so now you're going to see the prototypical 2-minute drill here. Grand Island's accustomed to doing this. This is kind of their style of offense. Hasn't really been working out so far tonight. Millard South, or we're at Millard South Field. Millard West doing a real good job of putting the clamps on that quick hitting zone read offense here at Grand Island.
We'll see what backup quarterback Carson Cahoy can do here. 5 wide for the Islanders. And there's the first completion of the drive. It's Riley. Pickup of 8.
Nice completion on first down there. Quick hitter. Very completable ball. Gives your offense some rhythm. Gives your quarterback some confidence on second and third down.
There's a quick out. That was Sykes. Pushed out of bounds near the 42, a pickup of 6 more.
Really gotta like that play call if you're a Grand Island fan. Not only did you pick up the first down through the air, Sykes was able to get out of bounds and stop the clock.
Cahoy, pressure up the middle, throws it on the run. Was it picked off? Interception by the Wildcats. Trey Wilbeck. What a play.
The junior, Trey Wilbeck, did an excellent job of keeping his eyes on the quarterback the entire time. Broke on the ball, cut in front of the receiver, exactly how you draw it up if you're a defender.
There was a flag on the field. It was against the Islanders. Penalty declined, and the Wildcats have the ball.
The entire fan base for Millard West was holding their breath when they saw that flag. Was that going to negate the turnover? As it is, the penalty was on Grand Island. Millard West retains the ball with a minute 39 to go. All they need to do is salt away the time here for the victory.
The Islanders do have 3 timeouts, so you have to hope for 3 stops as you expect Millard West to run the ball here.
Yeah, now this totally flips the script. Millard West was passing on early downs. You're right, Brandon. Now they want to run the ball and bleed the clock.
Quarterback keeper. There's Gomez with a pickup of 3. There's the first of 3 timeouts here for the Islanders.
Now the other half of that, you know or you feel that Millard West is going to run the ball as a defense. You still got to stop the run. Picking up 3 yards there on first down on just the quarterback keeper.
So in theory, if you stuff 2 more runs, you'll still get the ball back if you're Grand Island with about a minute 20, a minute 15 to play. But it all starts here on defense first.
Right. First things first, you got to get the stop. You got to get the stop. Use your timeouts. Call them quick. It's a tall task. No matter how you slice or dice this one, odds are really against you if you're an Islander. Millard West just really needs to play within themselves, run the ball, and just kind of prototypically salt this one away to a victory.
Second and 7. Up the middle, a gain of 1. Another timeout. Now it's Valencia on the carry.
Gain of 1, 3rd down and 6.
Wow, and the difference of this game has really only been a couple big plays here and there, and the scoreboard reflects that. 21-14. 2 excellent teams meeting up here, Millard South High School, mid-season, and I'll tell you what, they're all playing like it in mid-season form as well.
Third and 6 upcoming. It's been a battle that we expected, neck and neck throughout the game. Millard West took a 14-0 lead in the first half. Grand Island got a score back before halftime, evened it up after the break, and then most recently that 55-yard strike to Kennedy to give the Wildcats this 21-14 lead. Swing pass, It is picked off. Pick 6 on the way, Ben Riley. Oh my goodness. And he had that read before the snap. Crept up from the safety spot, and the rest is history.
You're exactly right. Ben Riley baited Gomez into that throw there. You thought it was a safe little flare out there, just trying to pick up some yardage, maybe get the first down. Ben Riley put his head down, really creeped up towards the line of scrimmage there late in the play count. And man, did he really drive on the ball.
My. And it's not like Kirk Peterson is some young, inexperienced coach. You heard some Millard West fans saying, "What are you doing there?" If the play works, though, you look like you know what you're doing.
Right.
And the odds of something like what just happening are so slim. But we are tied right now, 21-21. I cannot believe it.
I can't believe it either. I mean, I'm with a lot of the fans here. I'm kind of surprised Millard West elected to put the ball in the air. However, that is a very safe play to try and execute, and you're also going for the first down. If you get that first down, game's over. However, Ben Riley with the heads-up play, they're jumping the route for the quick pick six, and now we got a tie game with 1:19 left.
We're going to take a quick break to catch our breaths. 21-21, 1:20 to go. Welcome back here. The game has entirely flipped on its head. What looked like Millard West was just going to run the clock down turns into a pick six. We are tied with 1:18 to go.
Now the only silver lining there, if you're a Millard West fan, there's still 1:14 left on the clock. When you've elected to put the ball in the air and drive it down the field, you've had a lot of success, most notably Kennedy with that last bomb for the touchdown. You'd have to think the Wildcats would try and do some more of that bootleg rollout play there, get some, allow for your receivers to get downfield, you know, buy them some time. And then Gomez, we've seen him with the ability to really get that ball down the field when he does have time. How is Grand Island going to play it? Going to go with coverage, or are you going to bring the heat?
Going through the air, and it's caught near midfield. Again, it's Beanham.
And you just had a feeling that you were going to call Beanham's name here. Wildcats have been going to him throughout this contest. He's come up with some big catches, none bigger than that one, moving the sticks with just over a minute left in this game.
Each team with a timeout remaining. Islander pressure from behind. Passes away, it's hauled in, and a big time tackle by Sims. It'll be a pickup of 3.
The significance of that tackle was he kept him in bounds. Big 95 there. Dane Christensen was unable to get out of bounds and stop the clock.
There's a pickup of 2, and yes, you heard right, Dane Christensen, the defensive end, is catching passes right now. Another quick out route, another completion. This time it's Kennedy, the man who had the big 55-yarder.
Yeah, he is such a smart football player. Got both feet in bounds, knew where he was on the field. In high school, you only need one in. Kennedy not leaving anything to question, getting both in before he fell out of bounds.
3rd and 1 here. Millard West trying to get into field goal position at the very least. Quarterback keeper, first down up the middle. Still going and brought down near the 30, a huge gain. Wetling made the tackle, but Gomez continuing to do it with his legs.
Been so impressed with what Gomez has been able to do running the football here this afternoon. Hurry up offense for the Wildcats.
Clock running. Gomez, time in the pocket. Here comes Sims. He throws it away. Wow.
Jeez.
Wow, wow, wow.
I mean, I know you don't want to take the big loss there. Gomez has kind of gotten himself out of trouble there a few times, throwing the ball there across the field late in a play. He had to air that one out just perfectly because you had so many defenders between him and the sideline. Gomez maybe getting away with one there.
2nd and 10. Do you go for a quick pickup or do you go for it all here? There's 7 seconds to go. You have 2 safeties deep for the Islanders. Swing pass, 3 seconds. 1 second. And they're going to stop the clock. That was Beanham with a pickup of 6.
Beanham doing a real good job scooting out of bounds. Then he had that long second there to close out the game. And we're going to get a field goal attempt for the win.
Well, here you go. 44-yard attempt upcoming. And the Islanders are going to use their final timeout. I believe it was the Islanders. Millard West actually taking it, so I thought it was GI trying to ice the kicker, but apparently Millard West wants to rethink things.
Coach Peterson wants to make sure he has in the right protection here. You don't allow something like a blocked field goal to end this one when he got this opportunity. Been so impressed on this final drive with the receivers for Millard West, knowing where the sticks are and getting themselves out of bounds. And when they are running up and down the out of bounds, they're doing a good job of staying in bounds, securing the catch, then getting out of bounds. They know where they are on the field, and none bigger than what you just saw from Beanham there. He caught the ball and he had to cover a lot of ground to get out of bounds to enable this opportunity.
Well, here we go. 44-yard field goal attempt. It might be there. It's wide. It had the distance, but it's wide. We have bonus football on a Thursday.
Said it midway through the third quarter. This one has really lived up to the hype. And now we're going into overtime. What more could you ask for on Thursday night football in Nebraska?
Do not go anywhere. We will be back with overtime between the Islanders and the Wildcats when we return. This is why we're still playing football right now. 3rd and 6. Millard West trying to milk the clock, and Mr. Riley says, I will take a pick 6, 50-plus yards all the way to the house. Still cannot believe, Andy, that happened, but here we are. This game has lived up to the hype tonight.
And now the rain is starting to fall here. It was in the forecast all night. Now you're seeing some moisture come down from above. Both teams going back out to the 50-yard line, shaking hands there. We're going to have another flip and decide where we're going to go with this one.
Again, for those just joining us, Grand Island without quarterback Cole Evans. They've been with Carson Cahoy since midway through the first, and they have come back. They were down 14-7 at half. Islanders scored in the third. Millard West with a long bomb late in the fourth to take the 7-point lead, and you saw what happened after that.
Yeah, it's really been an even game, a game of big plays, and we thought that would be the case with these two highly ranked teams going at it. Millard West with riding a 4-game winning streak. Grand Island a 6-game winning streak. Haven't dropped a contest all year long, and it really has just been a game of just a couple big plays here and there. That's why we're all knotted up at 21.
Let's check down on the field with the third member of our broadcast team, Alex Loroff, with this report.
And Brandon, as we get set to begin overtime here, all tied up at 21, I was on the Millard West sideline just as that unbelievable pick 6 happened from the Islanders. And the emotions on the Millard West sideline, just shock and disbelief that happened with a minute and change left to go. It looked as if the Wildcats were going to wrap this game up with just an unbelievable game-changing play by the Islanders. The second today where the Islanders sideline has been fired up. The crowd is fired up now as well. And this game is as advertised here tonight as we had to overtime between two of the best teams in all of Class A football.
Thank you, Alex, for that report. Millard West will have the ball first. So here we go, starting from the 10. Pressure from the outside. Stepping up, throwing, and it's out. of reach of the intended target.
Gomez did such a real nice job there of buying himself just a little more time, staying tough in the pocket, then just sliding forward and moving to his left there, and nearly got a touchdown. What looked was going to be a sack early on in the play. Gomez taking a shot in the end zone, nearly pulling it off.
It was Harmdirks the intended target. 2nd and 10 now.
And you see Grand Island won the toss, decided to defer, putting the Millard West offense out on the field first.
Of course, the reason for deferring is you have the advantage, or at least perceived advantage, of knowing what you need to do when you get the ball. Out pass for a pickup of 5. Beanham with the catch. That is his 10th reception of the game.
Yeah, we talked about him in the pregame. We highlight him as a player to watch, and wow, 10 receptions here tonight. More of the same from Mr. Beanham.
Third and 6. Gomez, empty back. Here comes pressure from both sides. He steps up again. Gomez going to the corner, and it's tipped and incomplete.
Wow.
What do you do here if you're Coach Peterson?
I think you got to take the points. You got to kick the field goal. You saw his kicker there nearly ended the game with the 44-yard attempt. It went wide left. Much different scenario here as you're inside the 10.
And jump ball there. And that was Wentling breaking it up. So Sam Feedy, 23-yarder. Snap is down, kick is up, right down the middle.
Nice bounce back kick there. Raffini getting in there, not wavering. That was a huge kick for Millard West. You got to keep the pressure on Grand Island. And I really like how high school's overtime rules are set up, where you don't get the ball at the 25, you get the ball at the 10. Really forces the issue, puts the pressure on the defense. So now Grand Island's going to get a crack at it from the 10-yard line.
And the Islanders know what they need to do.
Well, what's interesting is Grand Island had an opportunity to kick a couple field goals earlier in this game, elected not to kick the ball, and then went for it on 4th and long on a couple occasions. So you know they want to get in the end zone here.
1st and 10. Cahoy looking back to the sideline.
4 wide offset back.
Cahoy hands it off to Riley. Chuggin brought down near the 5. That is his 19th carry.
Really like the play call there from Grand Island's offensive coaching staff. Really spread out the defense, and then you've got a hard-nosed runner in Riley that can really split the gap, get up into that gap, and pick up some tough yards.
2nd and goal to go from the 6. It's Francel, tackled inside of the 3.
That's what speed can do for you. The quickness of Francel. Nothing was there initially. He totally changed directions, went back for a nice gain there on 2nd down. Going to bring up a 3rd and short here.
3rd and goal to go from the 2. 2 yards to win it for the Islanders to stay undefeated. And Francel is stuffed in the backfield.
And now you're seeing the rain really start to fall down. It appears the field goal unit's coming onto the field for Grand Island. This just throws another wrench into it with the wetness here. I almost thought Tomlin was going to go for it on 4th down.
And it's Wentling, 20-yarder. It's up. It's good.
Oh. High
We're
drama
still
here
going.
tonight, Brandon.
My goodness, now Grand Island and their offense will stay on the field. What a play by that Millard West defense on 3rd and 2.
Well, I've been talking about that front 4 for Millard West. and how they've really limited what Grand Island could do in their rushing attack. Not a bigger play to the night than what you just saw there on 3rd and 2. Grand Island gearing up for the winning play. That front four, nothing doing for Millard West. Now you're seeing both sidelines kind of regroup, go back to the drawing board.
This game has certainly had everything.
Man. It appears we're going to stay down at the south end zone here, Millard Field. So we're not going to flip fields. We're going to stay right where we are. And the ball will be placed back on the 10-yard line. As I was kind of saying there during our first overtime period, that really puts the pressure on the defense. But I'll tell you what, it really takes away a lot of your plays from an offensive standpoint because you just don't have the room to work with down there.
Got a minute 45 still to play before we start this second overtime. But you talk about number 3 team and a number 4 team. I don't even know if we could have written this script. We knew it was going to be a good game. And you see a player being stretched out. Mateo Martinez. He's a focal point of that line for the Islanders.
And I believe when we come back to it here, I think it's going to get flipped around where Grand Island now has to be on offense and Millard West gets the option of being on defense. I think that's the way it goes.
We certainly are glad that everybody with us tonight, and hopefully they're enjoying this game as much as we are. Again, feel free to interact with us on Twitter at NCN Sports. Give us a tweet. Let us know what your thoughts on this game are. I'm sure there are plenty because this has been one of the best games that we've had in a while.
Yeah, and I think some fans, whether it was due to weather, a little bit of a rain that we're getting now, or just that they thought Millard West had the game in the bag with a minute 19 left in the game, you thought they were going to be able to just kind of run the clock down, as you mentioned. They put the ball in the air, and Ben Riley with a big pick 6 to extend this one.
Jeff Williams tweeting at us saying, great game, tweeting at NCN Sports, we can't argue. Also Austin Kaler, if you're not watching this Gish football game on NCN Sports, you need to be tie 24 at overtime. And there is the running back, leading rusher in Jackson Wright, unable to play this ball game. Here we go, back to game action, and it's Sykes. Gets a decent pickup.
And you just get the feeling with Grand Island really being determined here in overtime to run the ball up the middle. Is that setting something up on the outside?
Pickup of 2, 2nd and 8 here. Fakes the handoff to Riley, going to the corner, and it was hauled in and knocked away. Douglas had it in his grasps, and Gabe Anderson makes an amazing play.
Anderson's made a couple big boy plays there on the outside, out on the island there. Douglas has been making big catch after big catch. Credit Anderson for sticking with it and knocking it out of his hands as he comes down with it.
3rd and 7. Gahoy again to the air. Going to the corner. It's picked off. Interception. What a play. And who else but Dallas Beanham.
I tell you what, you put the ball in the air, you got to think Beanham's going to come down with it. How many plays has he come up with here tonight? Isn't that his 2nd interception?
My goodness. Wentling was there. Beanham makes the play. And now Millard West in complete control as the rain is pouring here. It held off for a majority of the game.
You know, and Beanham just does such a good job of when the ball is in the air, he adjusts to it. and he works his way back to the ball. That's all that was him going and getting the ball, making a play.
Gomez on the keeper. Cuts it back inside. Gomez takes it in from 10 yards out, and Millard West hands the Islanders its first loss of the season. 30-24 is your final.
And how fitting, we were talking about Gomez and what he's been able to do with his legs here tonight. Well, he just wins the game here tonight, running the football for the score.
A game full of drama and action, and about everything you could expect. The Wildcats come out on top. 30-24 in overtime. Gomez with the 10-yard score to ice it.
You really got to credit both squads of this game living up to the hype. A double overtime victory for the Wildcats as they hold on at home against these Grand Island Islanders.
Don't go anywhere. We'll wrap things up here from Omaha. We'll try to grab Coach Peterson and our player of the game here when we return. And welcome back here to Millard South Stadium. Just wrapping up a wild one. Millard West hands Grand Island its first loss of the season in overtime, 30-24. Joining me, Coach Peterson. Coach, I'm sure you have quite a few thoughts and emotions after that contest. If you could try to put them into words, could you kind of explain how you're feeling right now?
To be honest with you, I'm numb. I'm thinking back to the last series of regulation, and we tried to get Dallas the ball on just to get a first down, because if we get a first down, the game's over. And they made a heck of a play. Jeff made a great call, and they converted it, and I just kind of went, oh my God, I cannot believe that just happened. And they still had to come out and convert a PAT. So, it was good that we'd been in this position before, playing an overtime game earlier this year. So kids didn't panic. They did a good job they did a good job stopping us and forcing us to kick a field goal. Our defense answered that and just kind of kept after it, and that's how we played all year. I mean, we don't do anything really earth-shattering. We just kind of keep playing, and you hope kids get a chance to make a play, and the guy standing to your right's made a few here in the last couple weeks.
We'll be talking to him shortly and all the plays that he made. Someone else who made plays, though, your quarterback, Gomez. Now, talking to you before the game, you kind of said you had Goliath who comes in to do it with his legs, but it was really Gomez tonight who seemed to be having quite a bit of success, including that final touchdown, which iced things.
It's because we couldn't run the ball. I mean, we wanted Nate. We put Nate in there to try to do some things, but the Grand Island defensive line just ate our lunch, and we threw it on him tonight and said, you're going to have to throw it. I don't know how many times we threw it. It was more than we anticipated. The last play was it was a quarterback run, and I think Stu said maybe that was probably our longest run of the game. So I know it looked like a scramble, but he does a good job. He's just really steady, steady state, doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. A lot of kids would have folded their 10 after throwing the pick there at the end, and he didn't. He just kind of kept going, and we made enough plays there to get the W.
And, of course, what does this say just about your team, and what does it do for your team moving forward? Just a couple more weeks of regular season play, and you hand Grand Island its first loss of the season.
I don't know if it does anything. We're not bad. I mean, I beat them up frequently. We're not that good. We're not that good. We got to keep working. And I told him tonight, I said, you know what, we've been telling you for a week now that Grand Island's really good. And I said, you know what, we're pretty good too. I don't know if we proved it. We just happened to win tonight. I think if we played 10 times, it might be 5-5. So we just happened to win the one tonight. Chances are pretty good that we might run into each other here in a couple weeks, but you don't really worry about that until you get the regular season done. And it was a good win for our kids. They stuck with it tonight, and the kid beside you played pretty well.
Well, lastly, can you say a little bit expand on what he did? I have him down for 10 receptions, over 100 yards, and he reminded me 2 picks, and including one big one at the end there.
You know what? I'll joke with him about the 2 picks and him knowing it, but you know what? I know he's worried about the home team having more points than the visiting team, so that's the kind of kid he is. Coming on, he spent a lot of time with me in the weight room. He's had to, because I don't know how much he weighs. He claims to weigh 165. I think he weighs about $150. So, and he takes some shots, and we put him in some situations that he gets rung up a couple times. So, good player, and we expect those things from him from here on out.
Coach, congrats on the win. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right, our Dream It, Do It player of the game, Dallas Beanham. Talk to me about your contribution, what you're doing. We've never seen you play before, obviously, being from the Grand Island area, but every time the ball was thrown your direction, it almost seems like it was weird if you didn't catch it. You have hands, you have skills and athleticism, and you had 10 catches tonight. So what allowed you to do that here against a good team?
Coming in the game, we had 2 star players that were down, so my coaches said that we need to have some people step up and fill those spots for those people that are gone, and I just was there to help the team out, and I did that.
Playing on both sides of the ball, do you prefer one over the other? Because, yeah, you did a great job offensively, but, of course, those 2 picks were pretty big as well.
I don't prefer any over the other because I just want to help the team out, and whatever I can do, that's what I'll do.
In terms of what this means for your team and Millard West moving forward, there's now only 2 undefeated teams after you knocked off Grand Island. So does this make any sort of statement in terms of, in your mind, about what type of a team Millard West is?
Coming into the season, we knew that we had the players and the team and the coaches to do this, and we still have the same goal from the beginning, just to get better and to obviously go far in November. And I think the goal hasn't changed, and we showed tonight that we want it more. Mm-hmm.
Well, Dallas, congrats on the great performance and best of luck moving forward.
Thank you.
That's Dallas Beanham, our Dream It, Do It player of the game. 10 receptions, 106 yards. He also had 2 picks on the defensive side of the ball. Stay with us. We'll wrap things up here for our post-game show from Omaha. Here on News Channel Nebraska, Millard West gets the victory, 30-24 in overtime. And welcome back here to Millard South Stadium. We're wrapping things up here from Omaha. Dramatic game between Grand Island and Millard West. Thank you for being with us here for the Cornhusker Toyota Honda post-game show, Nebraska's only dual Toyota Honda dealer. There's no need to drive to Lincoln or Omaha when shopping for a new or pre-owned vehicle. Go see the sports fans at Cornhusker Toyota Honda in Grand Island. Well, let's take a look at our top plays here, brought to you by Central Nebraska Orthopedics. Number 4 Millard West taking on number 3 Grand Island. The Islanders undefeated coming into this one. Brock Douglas starting things off with that return. This was a game we anticipated would be a good one, and it certainly lived up to the hype. There is the quarterback, Gomez, connecting with his buddy Hazen in the end zone. 7-yard TD to get the scoring started off. That was early in the second quarter, 7-0 Wildcats. Now, coming the other way, it was Gomez again doing it with his legs. Tristan Gomez makes it 14-0 with 5:18 left before halftime. But Grand Island would answer back. Big-time carry there by Mr. Franzel for Grand Island. 62 yards. It would set up the touchdown. Caleb Franzel, such a weapon in this rushing attack for the Islanders. A big storyline, though, is that Cole Evans, starting quarterback for GI, went down in the first quarter. That did not stop Carson Cahoy, the backup, from hitting Brock Douglas there on 4th and 10 for a 23-yard touchdown strike. That would make it 14-7. That would be your score going into halftime. Third quarter, it would be tied up by Caleb Franzel again, taking it to the end zone for the score. 2 yards out, 14-14. But then late in the fourth quarter, it would be a 55-yard touchdown strike to Kennedy with less than 2 minutes to play. And that made it look like things were all over. But this was on 3rd and 6, and Ben Riley, pick 6. The odds of that play happening are slim to none. Millard West decided to throw it. Ben Riley reads it and takes it all the way to the house. We're tied 21-21. It would end up setting up overtime. Each team would kick a field goal on their first overtime attempts. This was Grand Island's second attempt, and it would be a pick and interception for Millard West by Dallas Beanham. He had 2 interceptions. He also had 10 receptions for 106 yards. This would set up what would cap off the game, and that was a touchdown run by Tristan Gomez, 10 yards out. Millard West comes back for the victory after that pick 6 when things got tied. The Wildcats get the 30-24 win, handing the Islanders its first loss of the season. I'm Brandon Axmit. Those are your top plays of the game. Well, the rain is starting to come down here. We are going to get out of here, but thank you so much for joining us for Thursday Night Football. Special thanks to Coach Kirk Peterson, our Roe Buick and Roe Chevy coaches interview, where they are proud to recognize all the outstanding area athletes who played with pride. Visit rowcars.com. Also, congratulations to our Dream It, Do It player of the game. Again, that was Dallas Beanham. Let your skills pay the bills. Check them out at dreamitdoit.com. Beanham with 106 receiving yards, 10 catches, and 2 interceptions, one of which basically sealed the game for Millard West. So, looking ahead, Grand Island hosts Lincoln Southwest next Friday. For homecoming, we will be there for that contest live. Millard West will head to Lincoln East on the 12th to take on the Spartans. As for us tomorrow, we're going to be in Columbus for the crosstown rivalry between Lakeview and SCOTUS, also a homecoming matchup as well. Hopefully you guys can be there for all the action also. For our terrific crew, for Ethan Hess in the truck, for our camera operators Kim, Edith, Dalton, and Aaron Trout, for Andy Klassen, I'm Brandon Axemet. We'll see you on Friday.